The Crown Prince truly cares for you deep in his heart. He told me so himself. Once we are wed, he'll reserve a position as side consort, just for you, even though you're the Yun family's adopted daughter. But the Crown Prince has harbored deep feelings for you. For many years, he would never cast you aside. I beg you to see that. Please understand his heartfelt intentions. Don't misunderstand him any longer.
Misunderstand? What? The one who ordered me sent to the laundry bureau all those years ago. Wasn't it the Crown Prince?
That is not what I meant.
栓子, don't push me too far.
The reason these people dare to humiliate me today, isn't it all? Because I was once in the laundry bureau.
It was the Crown Prince. Hurry and explain it to sister. I didn't mean it like that.
Then what exactly do you mean, little sister? You want me to just let bygones be bygones? Forget all the suffering I endured in the laundry bureau, the torments I went through, and then happily wed the Crown Prince as his concubine, bowing in eternal gratitude, thanking His Highness for everything he has done to me.
Sister, that is not what I meant.
But you clearly told me yourself, even if I became his concubine, I'd never earn the Crown Prince's favor, because he holds no affection for me in his heart. So he wouldn't have had the heart to send me to a place like that. What noble lady of a great house has ever been sent to the laundry bureau as a servant? I'm the only one in all of the capital. So, I truly believe what you said. The Crown Prince has no place for me in his heart at all. Why on earth should I bring such humiliation upon myself?
Mo Jingling couldn't help but glance toward Yun Zijing.
No, I never said anything like that. Sister, how could you even think that? When have I ever said such a thing?
Besides, how could I fight my own sister for a husband? I know how much you adore His Highness, the Crown Prince, so I'd never try to take him from you. They're right. I'm the one usurping another's nest. Ivy basked in 14 years of luxury. That was never truly mine. So how could I stoop even lower to steal your husband too? That is why I'd rather serve as the War King's lowly foot-washing maid than marry the Crown Prince as a mere secondary consort. I just hope you can see the good intentions behind my sacrifice.
Yun Zijun's face drained of color. She didn't know where to even begin refuting it all.
Your Highness, the Crown Prince, Yun Ziyao's maid, just publicly insulted her there. I've offended my superior. Treason and utter rebellion, please! Your Highness, have her dragged out and beaten to death with clubs. It is you wretched servant! It was County Princess Fanhua who spoke rudely to Miss Yun first. With the War King's protection, anyone who dares disrespect the eldest miss, I'll strike them down myself.
Mo Jingling's expression darkened as he recognized Bao Qing and Bao Qi, the very maids the War King had left for Yun Zirao. That day he came to propose at the Prime Minister's mansion.
If you hadn't been rude to Miss Zirao first, Bao Qing never would have laid a hand on you.
Your Highness the Crown Prince, enough!
Let this end here today. No one is to call her a foot-washing maid or anything like it again, humiliating Yun Zirao. Otherwise, I won't let it go unpunished. Did this county princess take that slap for nothing?
Guo Jingling frowned slightly. He turned to Yun Zijao.
Bao Qing, as a mere servant, has committed the grave offense of insolence against County Princess Changui. Though the death penalty may be spared, a lesser punishment is inevitable. Thereon, have her slap herself 20 times, as atonement to County Princess Fanhua.
Bao Qing serves the War King's household, and I have no authority to demand this of her.
Bao Qing and Bao Qi stood silently to the side.
It is because of you that County Princess Changui and County Princess Fanhua are upset.
Which is all the more reason I cannot allow this. If your Highness the Crown Prince insists, let me atone to County Princess Fanhua instead. Better to drag me out and beat me to death with random staves.
Lin Zirao has openly defied His Highness the Crown Prince's command. Yun Zirao, such audacity! It seems some have begun to fancy themselves as the War King's consort, and thus disregard the Crown Prince entirely.
I won't give you another chance. Have Bao Qing make amends to County Princess Fanhua.
Lin Ziyao's hand at his side slowly clenched into a fist, itching to send him straight to the Western Paradise with one punch.
His Majesty the Emperor arrives.
Her Majesty the Empress arrives.
The War King has arrived as well.
We pay our respect.
We pay our respects.
We pay our respects to Her Majesty the Empress.
We pay our respects.
We pay our respects to His Majesty the Emperor in his dragon robes and to the elegant and noble Empress.
Today, the Empress has hosted this flower viewing banquet to invite you all into the palace for some merriment and joy. Yet instead of strolling through the gardens, why are you all gathered here like this?
The maids keep their heads bowed low, none daring to make a sound. The reigning emperor is the second-born son, while the war prince is the 9th-born. The two are 17 years apart in age.
Your Majesty, Your Highness, the Empress.
Princess Fanghua steps forward a few paces.
My niece has been struck by a mere maidservant. Little Emperor and Your Highness, please see justice done for me.
A maidservant struck you.
The Empress furrows her brow, as if in utter disbelief.
That lowly wench is audacious beyond measure, daring even to lay hands on the princess.
Baojin steps forward in silence and kneels to beg forgiveness.
This slave deserves death.
It was you who struck the princess. What is your name?
Why doesn't the Empress first ask why she struck Princess Fanghua?
Ni Miaoshuang can't help but raise her head and glance at her.
Regardless of the reason, a servant striking her mistress is an act of heinous treason. She ought to be beaten to death with rods.
She serves in my prince's mansion.
What did the war prince say?
How could one of the Emperor's maidservants be here? Before addressing that question, I wish first to ascertain what exactly transpired here. Baoqing, why did you slap Princess Fanghua?
Princess Fanghua's heart sinks, and she instinctively steps back.
Because Princess Fanghua publicly insulted Lady Yun, calling her a lowly wench from the laundry bureau. I never said that! You're slandering me, you wretch! No need for you to fabricate lies to frame me. Everyone present heard it clear as day. Princess Fanghua hurling abuse, calling the lady a mere laundry maid. Lowly wench. That is why this slave struck her.
Which young lady was Princess Fanghua scolding?
The eldest miss of the Prime Minister's mansion, Yun Ziya.
Princess Fanghua insulted this lowly subject. Baoqing was simply venting on behalf of this lowly subject, which led to her impulsively slapping Princess Fanghua. I beg your majesty to forgive her recklessness and offense. This lowly subject is willing to accept punishment.
The Empress narrowed her eyes. A strange unease suddenly stirred in her heart.
Yun Ziya was indeed a laundry maid released from Huanyiju. I wasn't cursing her. I was merely stating a fact. Yet this maid struck without a second thought. I am a true imperial niece by blood. Punish her at once.
You mean the eldest miss of the Prime Minister's mansion? The rightful daughter of the Prime Minister whose identity was mistaken.
She is now an adopted daughter of the Prime Minister's household.
Since you are a daughter of the Prime Minister's mansion, why were you sent to the laundry?
Huanyiju, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty. This minister has just returned from the border, only to hear that the Prime Minister's rightful daughter was sent to the laundry bureau. She endured 3 years of grueling toil, and was only released just a few days ago.
Emperor Chongwu fell into an eerie silence. He almost thought he'd heard some Arabian Nights tale.
The daughter of a lofty official. A pampered young miss raised in luxury. Why would she be banished to a place like the laundry bureau, and made to suffer there for a full 3 years? Whose decree was this? Summon Prime Minister Yun to me at once.
Mo Jinlin's face paled slightly, as he unconsciously clenched his fists.
Your Majesty, do not blame my father. It was I, your humble servant, who offended the Crown Prince and displeased your Highness. Thus, the Crown Prince consigned me to the laundry bureau for punishment. It is I who deserve such a fate.
What did you say?
I should never have angered the Crown Prince. It is I who deserves death.
Mo Jinling looked up at Yun Zirao, his gaze dark and foreboding.
Yun Zirao, what you mean is that the Crown Prince sent you to the laundry bureau.
Miss Yun endured 3 years of torment in the laundry bureau, her body covered in scars. Your Majesty, behold these scars on her wrists. This is but the tip of the iceberg. The very day Miss Yun returned home, Lady Yun summoned a physician to examine her. The physician declared that Miss Yun's constitution was frail, plagued by malnutrition, infected wounds, and damage to her lungs and vitals. Her internal injuries were most severe, and without proper care, she had but a few days left to live. This servant gazed upon Miss Yun's wounds all over her body, and my heart already ached with unbearable sorrow. Today, upon hearing the Lady Fluorescent hurl insults at the young lady, this lowly maid was seized by utter fury. In that moment, I could not restrain myself from striking her. I beg your Majesty to punish me accordingly. This servant harbors no regret for her actions, only lamenting that I could not bear these agonies and humiliations in her stead.
Yun Zirao said nothing, merely standing there, frail and fragile.
Crown Prince, it was you who sent the Yun family's daughter to the laundry bureau.
Mo Jingyao, why force the silent Mo Jingyao to kneel and speak not a word?
Who are you?
Why?
Because what heinous crime did Lin Zhonu commit, that you have to send her to a place like that?
Emperor Chongwu kicked him to the ground with one foot.
As the crown prince of the realm, you treat a woman who adores you with such cruelty. The daughter of a loyal courtier, no less.
I beg your majesty to quell your anger.
Very well. The two ministers acknowledge their error.
I've heard that over these past 3 years, should she fall into the clutches of that power-hungry matron, Miss Yun will be tormented half to death. As if nursing some bitter grudge against her, it leaves me utterly baffled. Tapio granted such sweeping authority to a lowly matron like her, allowing her to ravage the household of a first-rank official without restraint, when even the capital of 100 officials can't shield their own daughters. One can only imagine how utterly powerless the rest of the court must be. Who knows whose minister's daughter will be arbitrarily exiled to the court brothel next, or thrust into the ranks as a camp follower.
Liu Miaochan's face registers stunned disbelief. He, uncertain whether she is venting on Yun Ziyao's behalf, or simply can't stomach the sight of such frailty being trampled upon.
Fanhua is right. Yun Zirao truly served 3 years in the laundry bureau. If you wish to go there yourself, this prince can have you sent there as well to serve a few years.
Royal uncle, I am the county princess. I haven't done anything wrong. Why should I be sent to a place like that?
Then what crime do you think Yun Zirao committed? To be exiled to the laundry bureau.
I don't know. I know nothing about it.
Since you know nothing, doesn't that prove she is innocent of any fault? What was your purpose in humiliating her? Merely to indulge your habit of looking down on others? Or do you believe everything the crown prince does is just, and wish to serve as his indirect accomplice?
I'm not. I have no true allegiance to the prince.
The crown prince is not.
If this prince wishes to exile you to servitude, would there even be need for a reason?
Mo Zhanglan ignored the empress and fixed her gaze directly on County Princess Fanhua.
By then, your innocence will be lost. Your reputation eternally tarnished. The entire capital will mock you from top to bottom. The bitter taste of being utterly unable to defend yourself. Perhaps you should experience it for yourself.
Royal uncle, I know I was wrong.
You should apologize to Yun Ziyao.
Miss Yun, it was my fault. I shouldn't have spoken to you that way. I was rude to you, please. As a great lady, overlook this petty offense and forgive my careless words.
Lin Zirao raised an eyebrow.
Speak, and have His Majesty decree that Mama Zhang from the laundry bureau be summoned here to question what she did to Yun Ziyao over these 3 years, and who ordered her to mistreat the daughters of court officials so cruelly.
As soon as these words were spoken, Yun Zijin, standing not far away, turned deathly pale.
Lady Chang summoned Mama Zhang from the changing quarters.
The atmosphere grew oppressively intimidating, making the wait feel unbearably drawn out.
Apart from the crown prince and the princess Fanhua, the others may rise first. No need to remain kneeling on the ground.
The noble ladies kowtowed in gratitude, eyes lowered demurely, then rose and stood quietly to the side. Emperor Chongwu made his way to the flower hall and took his seat.
Kanglan.
Come here. Mo Kanglan turned and entered the flower hall.
Seizing this moment today, I come prepared with a request. Your Majesty is most perceptive. I humbly request the hand of Yun Zirao, the adopted daughter of the Yun family. I had planned to visit the Prime Minister's mansion tomorrow to formally propose and discuss the wedding date with them in passing. But now that the matter has come up, I might as well beseech Your Majesty to decree the marriage for me.
Father Emperor, Yun Zirao is my fiancé.
To my knowledge, 3 years ago, after sending Yun Zirao to the Huanyi Bureau, the Crown Prince had already arranged with the Prime Minister's mansion to change the candidate for Crown Princess. And Yun Zijin is now your fiancé.
Even so, Yun Zirao was once my fiancé as well. Is the royal uncle openly vying for his own nephew's woman?
Yun Zijin gazed intently toward the Crown Princess, her heart plummeting into an icy abyss. Is he jealous over Yun Zirao?
There is not even a formal betrothal between the two of you. Don't make it sound so sanctimonious. You're just inviting ridicule.
Emperor Chongwu sneered in silence. From the Crown Prince's reaction just now, it is clear he hasn't gotten over Yun Ziliu at all.
Not one bit. When did you take a fancy to a girl from the Yun family? It is hardly a case of taking a fancy. I simply feel Yun Zilow's predicament is far too humiliating. Unloved by her father or mother at home, all because of her so-called willful temper. Discarded by her once trusted fiancé to be bartered like clothing and ground down in torment. He couldn't bear to see it, considering he himself is of marriageable age now. So he might as well marry her and be done with it?
This explanation of his is altogether too offhand.
Yun Zazirao of the Line family.
You enter Yunzilu, steps into the flower hall, and bows in salute.
Are you willing to marry the War King?
To receive the War King's deep affection would be this minister's daughter's greatest fortune, even if it meant serving the War King as a mere foot-washing maid. I'd do so as his willing foot-washing maidservant.
Who said anything about making you a foot washer?
Baoji hurries into the flower hall and drops to her knees.
Just now, as Princess Fanhua was humiliating Miss Yun, this servant and Baoji spoke up and told them that the Wang Yi had already gone to the Prime Minister's residence to propose marriage. But Princess Fanhua claimed the Wang Yi, being of imperial noble blood, wouldn't stoop to Miss Yun. That cuckoo in the nest, the false young lady from the Wuyang Marquise's household, Lady Ning, then asked if the Wang Yi was in need of a laundry maid or a foot-washing maid, and that is why he'd taken a liking to Miss Yun. Miss Yun replied, even if it meant being a foot-washing maid, I'd still be willing to marry the Wang Yi. It was those very words that His Highness the Crown Prince overheard, and in his rage, the Crown Prince, he angrily berated Miss Yun for willingly debasing herself.
The noble ladies present were utterly terrified. Thud, 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 a whole group knelt down once more.
Lady Fanhua and the Ning girl are to return and face the wall in reflection for half a month. I shall dispatch etiquette matrons to the Dawn Prince's residence and the Wuyang Marquis's manor to strictly instruct you all in the decorum befitting county princesses and noble daughters, whether involved or mere bystanders. Once you leave the palace today, you must make your way to the Prime Minister's residence to offer your apologies to Lady Yun.
All the women bowed their heads low. Not one dared utter a word in defense. The Empress's expression flickered uncertainly.
Your Majesty, Nanny Zhang has arrived.
This old servant pays respects to your Majesty, and to Her Majesty the Empress.
Drag this wicked old crone over here, and beat her to death with broken staves.
2 imperial guards advanced, seizing Nanny Zhang and hauling her aside.
Your Majesty! Your Majesty! This old servant doesn't know what wrong she has committed. Huh?
Yun Zijun's face drained of color, head bowed as she stood behind County Princess Fanhua. Nanny Zhang's squeals pierced the air like a slaughtering pig's, leaving every woman present pale with horror.
As the young lady's husband, Yun Ziro endured 3 years in the washing bureau. Nanny Zhang must have tormented her relentlessly. No.
This old servant's crime! Yes, indeed! This old servant only followed the rules, as per the rules. This old servant is innocent. Ha!
In that case, just beat her to death.
Lord Jean, spare my life. Lord Jean, have mercy. This old servant confesses it was the second miss of the Yun family.
Lord Zhang raised his hand, signaling the imperial guards to halt.
Yes, it was the second miss of the Yun family. She gave this old servant a total of 200 taels of silver and repeatedly instructed me to take good care of the eldest miss of the Yun family.
Yun Zijun's legs buckled, and he collapsed to his knees on the ground.
Anything else?
The Crown Prince, His Highness, the Crown Prince, has visited the laundry bureau, and several times he witnessed this old servant disciplining Miss Yun, but he never once spoke up to stop me. So I took it that His Highness was tacitly approving it.
Mo Jingling knelt silently on the ground.
And with a single command, she was beaten to death.
Lord Zhang, spare me. This old servant was only following orders.
Amid increasingly agonized and piercing screams, Mama Zhang's eyes widened, and finally she slowly drew her last breath.
The truth is now crystal clear. Your Majesty, please decree how to deal with the Yun family. This minister only begs for an imperial decree of marriage. By imperial decree, since you are so set on this union, I shall naturally grant it. The eldest daughter of the Yun family, Yun Ziro, stands frozen in shock. I decree your marriage to the War Prince as his principal wife. On an auspicious day, the grand wedding rites shall commence. Do you consent? Oh, you've already given your answer. I consent.
It is this minister's daughter who consents.
This minister retires. Henceforth, Yun Ziao shall be this king's betrothed, and should anyone dare to humiliate or harm her, this king will show no mercy.
Ryle takes her hand, and they withdraw together. Yun Ziao follows him in silence, averting her eyes from Mo Jingling's furious glare. She ignores the Empress's dark, menacing stare. She turns away from Ning Miaochan's jealous, resentful gaze. Step by step, they exit the imperial garden, leaving the web of intrigue behind.
This concubine has failed in guiding the crown prince. How could he commit such an outrage against a daughter of the Yun family? This concubine has been remiss in her duties, and begs your majesty's punishment.
Emperor Chongwu sits at his desk, gazing upon the noble ladies kneeling throughout the imperial garden.
A daughter of the Chengsong lineage, sent to the laundry bureau for 3 years, and this concubine knew nothing of it. This affair implicates the crown prince. It implicates the prime minister. Yet I was kept utterly in the dark for 3 full years. Is the empress implying that as long as the crown prince wishes to conceal something from me, any matter he deems unfit for my knowledge, the prime minister will collude with him to keep it hidden from me?
The empress's face drains of color.
Your majesty, the crown prince has never intended to deceive his sovereign father. He was simply too reckless in his romantic entanglements, arrogantly leading him to harm the Yun family's daughter. Perhaps he knew deep down that what he did was wrong, which is why he didn't dare confess his fault to your majesty. This concubine dares not defend him outright, but he lacks the audacity to deliberately deceive the throne. I beseech your majesty to see the truth.
Emperor Chongwu rises to his feet.
As the heir to the realm, the crown prince shows no compassion or mercy. His nobility forsaken, straying from the gentleman's path. Henceforth, he shall receive 30 strokes of the staff each day in Chongyong Hall, his stipend halved, and the deducted silver compensated to the Yun family's eldest daughter.
Your majesty, how can the crown prince, a noble of 1,000 gold, endure such punishment?
That delicate Yun girl endured daily torment for 3 grueling years. So why should a man like him falter? When he banished that girl to the wardrobe bureau, did he ever consider if she could bear it?
He has already come to regret his grave mistake. I implore your majesty to spare him. Your majesty, please have mercy on him.
The Yun family's legitimate daughter, Yun Xizheng, harbors a dark and venomous heart. Lacking any purity or loyalty, she is unworthy to be crown princess. I will not approve this marriage.
Yun Zijun's body trembles. Her face drains of color.
A lighter punishment than that for Lady Fanghua and the Ning girl. I have made myself abundantly clear. There is no need for me to repeat myself. The rest of you, make your atonement. If there is ever a next time, you won't want to know the consequences.
With those words, he coldly flicked his sleeve and stormed off.
Your majesty, please show leniency to the crown prince.
Emperor Chongwu departed without a backward glance. Gazing at Emperor Chongwu's receding figure, her eyes gradually darkened with cold fury.
Xuan Zishao, you deserve to die. A mere, lowly young girl, suffering just a slight grievance. And yet you dare harbor resentment and seek vengeance against the crown prince. Do you truly believe you'll wed the war king without a hitch?
In your dreams, your highness, let the rage consume you.
Meanwhile, Mo Jingling was about to turn and look toward Yun Zijun.
His Majesty has sent this humble servant to remind your highness the crown prince. In half an hour, please change into lighter attire and proceed to Chongming Hall to receive your punishment.
With that, he bowed hastily and withdrew. The empress's face grew grim, staring expressionlessly at the noble ladies she had invited to the palace.
All of you return home. The crowd fell silent,
breathing sighs of relief. Niece, take your leave! Yun Zijun remained kneeling on the ground, waiting until all the ladies had departed. Only then did he slowly raise his head to gaze at Mo Jinglan, stepping slowly to Mo Jinglan's side.
What did you say, Chen Yu? Is everything you said true?
As your maidservant, I only highlighted the essentials. There are so many details I haven't even mentioned yet.
But that is not the point right now. The key is the crown prince, right in front of the empress. The crown prince and all those noble ladies, declaring that my sister is a venomous woman, unworthy of becoming the crown princess. He rejects this marriage outright. What are we to do, mother? Will the emperor have her executed, my sister? Will he hold father and mother accountable for failing to raise their daughters properly and take his wrath out on our entire household?
Zhua, at a time like this, you're still worrying about that.
Just half an hour before Yun Zirao returned, she received a letter delivered by a messenger from her sister-in-law back home. But it is almost certain that Prime Minister Yun has been keeping an illegitimate son on the side for at least a decade now.
Let's head inside. and sit down first. Then we can talk it through slowly.
Yun Zirao nodded gently and followed her inside.
I know you barely touched any food in the palace. Have a little something to settle your stomach first.
Yun Zirao sat down at the table, tears suddenly spilling down her cheeks.
My dear child, I know how much you're hurting inside.
Mother, I never thought my sister could resent me this much. I've never once wanted to fight her for anything. Today, the Crown Prince petitioned the Emperor himself, requesting an imperial decree to take me as his wife. And the Emperor has already given his blessing. I wasn't competing with her over a single thing. So why would she treat me like this?
I know it all too well. You're fortunate not to wed His Highness the Crown Prince, for he is no virtuous husband. Better to forgo the marriage altogether.
And let it rest for now. Yun Zirao wiped away her tears.
Right after hearing Mama Zhang's words, I was utterly stunned. I could scarcely bring myself to believe that Mama Zhang spoke the truth. Yet, she confessed it herself before the Emperor and the Empress. How could I deny it? What grieves me most is that my sister offered no denial, but silently accepted it. All of this is behind us now. Zizhi was never bound to you by blood as true sisters, so harbor no illusions of sisterly bonds from her. I understand. I'm only your mother. I'm all right. Mother needn't fret over me.
With that, she bowed her head and began sipping the bird's nest soup.
Yet in her heart, she wondered if the Emperor might summon father for a stern reprimand, or even if he spared the rebuke. As Prime Minister serving at court, he would soon hear of the matter regardless. Once he returns home this evening, our household will be in quite a stir.
A servant approached to report. The second miss has returned and is waiting just outside the main gate, escorted back personally by His Highness, the Crown Prince.
Have her come to Tranquil Courtyard.
Mama Zhou received the order and departed. Heading to the front courtyard, there she happened upon Yun Zijun entering the gate.
Second miss, the madam summons you to Tranquil Courtyard. Oh, I get it. I'll go back and change my clothes first. Please have Nanny Zhou report to madam right away. Madam, shall we have the second young lady come over right now?
All right. She arrived at Jing'an Courtyard with Nanny Zhou. As she crossed the threshold, Mother knelt down. Yun Zijun's face turned pale.
Mother knelt down. I have questions for you.
Yun Zijun bit her lip. In her heart, she was certain it was Yun Zirao who had reported her. That despicable and shameless wretch has finally given me something to hold against her. Yun Zijun lowered her eyes and knelt down.
Daughter knows what mother is angry about. But I'm innocent. That Zhou Mammy must have been instigated by someone, insisting that I instigated the mistreatment. Whether mother believes me or not, I have to say it. I never instigated anyone to abuse my sister. I'm not such a vicious woman.
Nanny Zhou took the rattan cane.
Nanny Zhou turned around resolutely and ordered someone to fetch the rattan cane.
She is going to beat me.
Madame Yun said nothing. She just looked at her expressionlessly. Bao Jin and Bao Qi stood outside the door, one on each side. Chen Yu kept his head down and eyes lowered, standing beside Yun Ziao.
When Nanny Zhang accused you of instigating her, did you defend yourself?
No. Mother, I'm innocent. I really am innocent.
Innocent? If you think you're innocent, why didn't you cry out your innocence in front of the Emperor and Empress? Do you know what impact the Emperor's words calling you a vicious girl will have on the Prime Minister's mansion? What you're destroying is the reputation of the Prime Minister's mansion. Yun Zichun must surely be a daughter from an illicit affair. She is the fruit of Yun Kang's betrayal of me. She is no daughter of mine at all. The true usurper who has taken another's place is Yun Zijun. The one scheming to pass off the fake as genuine is none other than Yun Zijun. This petty, ruthless, and venomous soul is Yun Zijun through and through. Ever since he wormed his way into the Yun household, he has hounded Zirao at every turn, forcing her to endure all manner of undeserved torment. He is the one who truly deserves to die.
The cane whistles through the air like the wind, striking Yun Zijun until his agonized cries echo without end.
Mother, I wronged father only because he wronged me first. I was truly wronged. I'm furious, please. Spare me. And yet you still claim innocence.
Lady Yuan draws a deep, steadying breath, then turns and sinks into the chair.
No matter why, Nurse Huang Yi just slandered you so viciously. With the Emperor and Empress both present in recent days, why didn't you speak up in your own defense? Such a golden opportunity. And there you stood, dumb as a post, only to cry injustice now.
Lord Shan subjected Nurse Zhang to brutal interrogation, and right before all those young ladies inflicted the cobbing on her, I was terrified. And after Nurse Zhang endured the torture, she suddenly accused my mother, leaving me utterly frozen in shock, with no chance whatsoever to even respond. It all happened so fast. Jialing beat Nurse Zhao to death with the staff. Before I could even cry out my innocence, Nurse Zhang had already breathed her last. Now, with her gone, there is no one left to contradict it. Mother, your daughter, has no idea how to clear her name.
Madame Zhang stared at her tear-streaked eyes and furrowed brows. No matter how I look, I can't see even the slightest resemblance to my own daughter.
Whether you're truly innocent or not, since Nanny Zhang has accused you herself, this matter is your fault. You can't dodge or evade responsibility for it.
Yun Zijun bit her lip, gazing up at Yun Ziluo.
It is all because of this wretched woman. If it weren't her doing, how could she be publicly identified as the culprit? How could she bear such a venomous reputation? How could the Emperor publicly decree the annulment of her betrothal? You, Zirak, must have done this deliberately. It is all part of the Sword God's insidious plot. Though my daughter has 100 mouths, she can't defend herself. But this affair arose because of me. I willingly accept Mother's reprimand, yet I beg Mother to quell her anger, lest it harm her health.
Juner, if everything Nanny Zhang said is true, it truly fills me with such profound disappointment. Though you've only been back in the Yun household for 3 years. In these 3 years, how have we treated you? You know it well in your heart. Your father is occupied with court duties every day. Rarely at home. As your mother, I've taken you out to broaden your horizons, introducing you to the finest sons and daughters of noble houses. And your eldest brother regards you as a precious treasure, fearing you might feel insecure in the Yun family, going to great length, time and again, to humble himself for your sake.
Mother! I really didn't!
It is really not me, no matter if it is you or not. On this matter, the Yun family must take a stance. Your father holds the position of Prime Minister, head of all officials. Countless eyes in the imperial city are upon him. The family honor cannot be tarnished and disgraced by you. Nanny, take the second miss to the ancestral hall to kneel, and we'll discuss it when the Prime Minister returns this evening.
This marriage fiasco was caused by me, and I am willing to bear the responsibility. I am willing to bear it without a trace of cowardice, and I can still defend myself in due time. Mother, please calm down. I will go to the ancestral hall to reflect right away.
Lady Yuan stared at her, retreating figure, her heart in utter turmoil for the moment.
The matter of Mother sending me to the laundry bureau 3 years ago was decided solely by the Crown Prince. The Emperor only learned of it today. Upon hearing this news, the Emperor flew into a towering rage. The Crown Prince of Sanling attends Chongming Hall every day to receive 30 lashes, 30 strokes of reprimand every day. Yeah, the Emperor sure has a heart of stone. He is a Crown Prince from a foreign realm, whose prestige and reputation cannot suffer any blemish. Punishing him like this, the civil and military officials of the entire court will likely protest in outrage. Will the civil and military officials of the court protest or not? But it is still uncertain. But my father, unwaveringly loyal to the Crown Prince, will surely raise his voice in protest.
In the evening, Prime Minister Yun returned with a sullen face. As soon as he returned, he ordered someone to summon Yun Zirao to the study. Mrs. Yun accompanied Yun Zirao there as well.
You, my daughter, kneel down.
Mrs. Yun recoiled in shock at the accusation.
Father, what have I done wrong to provoke such fury from you?
You still dare to ask, all of you.
By Prince Zhang's command, we must protect the princess consort. But the princess consort is also the Prime Minister's daughter. So out of respect for you, my lord. But if you lay a hand on the princess consort, we won't hold back.
With that said, I nodded slightly, then turned and walked out.
It seems the Prime Minister intends to beat Raoul to death.
Do you even know what trouble she has caused?
If you won't tell me, how am I supposed to know what trouble she is caused?
I'm asking you. Today, Prince Zhang forced Mama Zhang to confess under duress. Was that your idea?
Father, you're joking. How could I possibly have that kind of influence to even command Mama Zhang like that?
Then why didn't you speak up for your sister?
What father means is that my sister ordered Mama Zhang to torment me for 3 years, and I should graciously make excuses for her.
You two are sisters.
Sincere sisters. Why would she be so vicious to me?
Yun Zero, you 放肆! You're out of lie!
Father, your heart only holds your little sister, and has no room for a daughter like me. What more is there to say? She is your own flesh and blood. I'm not, so I don't dare hope you'll ever treat me the same as her. But even with a total stranger, if they committed such a cruel act, there is no justification for forcing the victim to forgive them, unless father abuses his authority to do so, forcing the victim to forgive.
The Cloud Prime Minister is cornered. His words turn to rage from sheer embarrassment, yet laced with a flicker of guilt.
Yun Zero
was humiliated today in the Imperial Garden by all those people, calling me a filthy laundry maid from the washing bureau. But what wrong did I commit 3 years ago, just because the Crown Prince abused his authority? I must endure this inexplicable humiliation. It was the War King, my father, who saw me utterly abandoned. Tableau da matron in charge of the washing bureau to interrogate her. At this, I can't help recalling the 3 years I spent in the washing bureau, enduring endless torment, while my father never once sought justice for me. Instead, it was the War King, a total stranger to our blood, who stepped from the shadows to avenge my abyss of injustice. The moment the bureau chief exposed my sister's treachery, I thought my ears deceived me. I could scarcely believe that the agonies of those 3 years stemmed from her malice all along. My father never confronted my sister, but blamed me instead. His Majesty was kept in the dark for 3 whole years, questioning the Crown Prince. What crime had I committed? Why banish the daughter of a high minister to the laundry? The prince could offer no answer. Even His Majesty deemed the affair absurd. Yet back then, my father said nothing at all, watching in silence as I suffered for 3 years. Asking nothing, inquiring never until now, when another speaks out for my wrong, and suddenly, father, I feel it is my fault. Why doesn't father question my sister? Why she did this to me? What grudge does she hold against me, that she would repay me with such vicious revenge?
Prime Minister Chen was left speechless by his questioning.
You can't just take the word of that mama from the Wardrobe Bureau at face value. This is someone deliberately sowing discord, trying to drive a wedge between you sisters from within.
Isn't it just one side of the story? How is Zai Rao supposed to discern the truth? If the Prime Minister wants Zi Rao to believe Zi Zheng is innocent, he should investigate the truth himself, so that Zi Rao can truly believe in Zi Zhen's innocence. Zi Rao is merely a frail young woman, who rarely steps beyond the inner gates of her home. Are you really expecting Zi Rao to force Zi Jun to recant her confession for the Yun family's sake?
You are Zi Zheng's mother. Surely you trust in her character.
A long silence fell in the study, as Prime Minister Yun slowly took his seat.
Zi Jun wouldn't do this to you. Mama Chang's one-sided account can't be trusted. I will uncover the truth of this matter. But until then, as your father, I hope you can set aside your suspicions for now.
Lin Zirao remained silent.
The matter of His Highness, the Crown Prince being reprimanded by the Emperor, has stirred up a storm in the court. While this was indeed the Emperor's way of showing favor to the daughters of his ministers, demonstrating the sovereign's strict impartiality, yet the Crown Prince is the Crown Prince nonetheless. His dignity cannot be tarnished.
Madame Lin gazed at him impassively, speaking up in defense of Yun Zijun, yet constantly fretting that the prince has never once shown concern for Zi Rao.
The decree punishing the Crown Prince comes straight from the Emperor himself. What more can I possibly do?
You could go plead with the War King. What is the Emperor has already granted your marriage to the War King? Just to speak a few kind words on the Crown Prince's behalf. You'll likely let the Crown Prince off the hook.
The War King is just a prince. After all, can he really decide the Crown Prince's fate?
The Emperor relies heavily on the War King. If the War King but speaks up, the Emperor will almost certainly grant him that favor.
The Crown Prince caused Raoer to suffer unjustly for 3 long years, and now Raoer must plead for mercy on his behalf across the entire realm. No principle under heaven allows for such injustice.
He is the Crown Prince. Never forget the sacred order of ruler and subject, even if he has erred gravely. As a subject and a daughter, she cannot harbor resentment. To do so would be utter treason.
Lady Ming's face darkened with fury. She longed to argue back, yet feared prying ears on the walls.
Mother, please calm yourself. Father speaks truly as the daughter of the Prime Minister. I must place the greater good above all. Mother, there's no need for worry. It is merely a plea to the War King. For the Crown Prince's sake, it won't cost me so much as a sliver of flesh.
So you're willing to approach the War King, then?
But I have one condition. You've always said the Yun children's upbringing is mother's domain. I ask that father not interfere. From my earliest days, it was mother who guided me. The sister, her wife, and children raised under her care have returned to the Yun household. Li must be under mother's sole authority. If she asks, mother alone should hold the right to punish her.
You've punished your own family, and he has caused such a huge mess.
With the Emperor publicly branding him vicious, how can we possibly explain to the Emperor without some punishment? The Prime Minister serves at court. Though not quite wielding power over court and country, he is still the foremost among civil officials. So many eyes are watching you. Once today's palace incident spreads, those gloating over our misfortune won't be few in number, eagerly awaiting the Yun family's downfall. Better to give him some punishment now, lest the Emperor think the Prime Minister refuses to submit.
Even the Crown Prince has been punished. It'd be unjust for the Prime Minister's daughter to brush it off lightly. Or else we couldn't account for it to the Emperor and the Empress.
Father, no need to worry. Though I won't hold a grudge against my sister. The Emperor's words are golden and unalterable. They've convicted her of wrongdoing. No further punishment in the palace. But once home, mother will surely have to make a show of it. Or if the Emperor and Empress find out, wouldn't it only confirm the Yun family fails in raising its daughters?
Prime Minister Yun gazed at Yun Zirao, unsure if it was her imagination, but she sensed the Zirao was somehow different.
Guiding the daughters is indeed the legitimate mother's duty. I won't interfere. Come find me first thing tomorrow morning. Don't delay, or the Crown Prince will suffer even more.
Lin Ziao agreed without hesitation, returning home to his own resentments.
Your father grows more muddled with age, when clearly you've been the one wronged. Yet he sends you to plead for the real culprit. Outsiders envy the Prime Minister's wife for her noble daughters. But what has he ever given you all these years, making you suffer grievance after grievance? Never backs you up.
Mother, I'm not my father's biological daughter. Yet all these years, I've enjoyed the wealth and glory in the Yun family that wasn't mine. It is only right that I endure some grievances.
What if it was your father who made the mistake?
Mother,
if you truly were our biological daughter, wouldn't that make him an utter failure as a father?
Yun Zirao lowers her gaze, falling into a long silence.
Forget it. Let's not talk about that now. You're really going to plead with the War King tomorrow.
Mother, you needn't worry. I know what I must do.
Madame Yuan nods, yet her expression remains troubled. The very next morning, before dawn breaks, she takes a carriage to the War King's manor. Upon alighting, she kneels directly before the gates.
This humble lady begs the King's mercy and implores you to speak on behalf of His Highness, the Crown Prince, before the Emperor.
Outside the War King's manor, the guards exchange bewildered glances, all utterly stunned. Soon, a guard turns to inform the steward. The steward receives the report and wastes no time, hurrying inside to inform his master.
The eldest miss of the Lin family kneels at the gates.
My lord, shall we invite Miss Yun inside?
No.
My lord.
Mo Kanglan offers no further explanation.
Right now, send a few men to summon all the Kanglang generals. Tell them this king has urgent matters today, and cannot come to the camp. Have them come to the manor for counsel.
Yes, Jiming replies, turning to depart. This messenger spread the news with remarkable speed. In less than half an hour, the generals from Kanglan Prefecture had all arrived at the War Prince's mansion. As they dismounted from their horses, they were stunned to see Yun Zirao kneeling outside the mansion.
This is our young lady.
The eldest daughter of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister learned of the Crown Prince's punishment and ordered her to come plead with the War Prince, hoping he would intercede with the Emperor on behalf of His Highness, the Crown Prince. Generals, I beg you to put in a good word with the War Prince and at least grant our young lady an audience.
I heard His Highness the Crown Prince was punished just yesterday for sending Miss Yun to the laundry bureau without any cause. A delicate young lady like her, forced to endure 3 years of grueling toil there. How is that any different from abusing private authority for punishment? As the Crown Prince, he shows not a shred of responsibility. So isn't it only fitting that he face punishment? And yet Prime Minister Yun has the audacity to send the victim herself to beg mercy for the Crown Prince. Where in the world is there such twisted justice?
General Yan is absolutely right. Princes who break the law must face the same penalties as commoners. The Crown Prince, as heir to the realm, should hold himself to the strictest standards, be lenient toward others, and show women the utmost respect. But instead, he abused his privileges, sending an innocent courtier's daughter to the laundry bureau. Conduct utterly unbecoming of an heir to the throne. Miss Yun endured 3 years of suffering, yet not a single soul from the Yun family ever sought clemency from the emperor on her behalf. And now, they're pleading for mercy on behalf of her tormentor. Miss Yun has suffered more than enough already.
The Crown Prince was punished only yesterday, and today Prime Minister Yun sends his own daughter to beg for him. One truly wonders who commands his true loyalty, the Emperor or the Crown Prince.
It is to punish the Crown Prince. It is the Emperor's personal edict. Prime Minister Yun, are you dissatisfied with the Emperor's edict?
Amid the murmurs of the crowd, another round of hoofbeats draws near from the distance. General Chen arrives, a middle-aged man in battle armor reins in his horse.
Sirrah, why are you kneeling here? Get up now.
Uncle, please, won't you plead with Prince Zhao for him? The Crown Prince, the moment he falters, it is said to be a consequence of his son's overbearing ways. What will the ministers make of it? I beg you, Uncle, to persuade the War Prince.
After all, he is done to you. You're still pleading for him?
Lin Zirao's face pales, her eyes downcast in silence.
Never mind. It is not your fault. You can only blame your father for this.
I want to see the prince.
The prince has always been impartial and unyielding. He won't agree to such a plea. Moreover, with the emperor's own edict punishing the crown prince, how could the prince intervene so lightly?
General Chen, the prince is indeed impartial, but we generals can enter the palace to plead on your behalf.
Zira, why don't you head back to the residence first? We'll go into the palace and beg this favor for you.
Really? Thank you, Uncle, and thank you, generals.
After General Chen, General Yan, and the other 2 generals confer, they all mount up in unison, galloping swiftly toward the imperial palace.
Miss Yu, I am Lin Yichen. I have heard the emperor decreed your betrothal to the prince yesterday, and yet today, Miss Yun, you come to plead for his highness, the crown prince. Doesn't that seem rather inappropriate? It was my oversight. We'll see to this matter for Miss Yun properly. We only ask that Miss Yun spare us further trouble. Your Highness, you should return soon.
With those words, he spurred his horse and galloped toward the 4 generals ahead. Miss Yun lifted her gaze, the corners of her mouth curving in the faintest, imperceptible smile. She had already surmised the reason for their abrupt arrival, and knew it must be tied to Mokanglan.
General Chen, let's head back.
Yeah, take it slow, miss. Once you're settled in the carriage. A chilling smile tugged at her lips.
This plea for the Crown Prince, I will ensure he falls into eternal ruin.
The carriage slowly pulled away from the prince's residence. Upon hearing of his departure, Mokanglan finally emerged from the prince's gates.
He paid his respects to the prince.
You sent me away just now. Why haven't my generals arrived yet?
The prince knew full well it was a feigned question.
Generals Chen, Yan, and Lin have all arrived. They saw Miss Yun kneeling here moments ago, and after inquiring about the reason, they've all hurried to the palace together.
The guards swiftly brought his mount, and Mokanglan mounted in a fluid leap, the horse bolting forth like an arrow loosed from the string. As Generals Chen and the others sought entry, Emperor Tongwu was in audience with several key ministers, deep in discussion within the hall. When word came of the general's urgent request for an audience,
General Chen reporting to your majesty.
It is General Chen, General Yang, and Generals Zhao and Lin.
Let them enter.
General Chen and his entourage entered the hall.
Your humble servants pay respects to your majesty.
Long live your majesty! Long live!
Long, long life.
Upon seeing this imposing array before him, Prime Minister Yun feels a surge of foreboding in his heart.
Rise, all of you.
The moment the minister declares his intent to impeach Prime Minister Yun,
the hall falls utterly silent.
Your Majesty, what grounds does General Chen have to impeach me?
Your humble servants had just gone to the War King's residence moments ago, when we unexpectedly encountered Miss Rao outside the gates. She is the daughter of Prime Minister Yun. It wasn't even dawn yet, and there she was, kneeling outside the War King's manor gates for quite some time.
Why would Miss Lin Ziyao kneel outside the War King's residence?
She went to seek an audience with the War King. begging him to enter the palace and plead with your majesty to spare the crown prince. Though your humble servants lack the scholar's breadth of learning, we do know your majesty's decree is as unyielding as gold and jade, one word as weighty as 9 cauldrons. If Prime Minister Yun seeks to plead for the crown prince, yet dares not speak before your majesty himself, he instead forces his own daughter to beg at the war king's residence. What manner of justice is this? Naturally, 3 years ago, when the crown prince was punished and exiled to the frontier, and the prime minister, as his father, ever uttered a single plea on his behalf, she, a frail woman, too weak to even wring a chicken's neck, whose body has scarcely recovered, yet the prime minister drives her out before dawn to prostrate herself outside the war king's residence. Do you bear some grudge against this daughter of yours?
When did you send her to kneel outside the war king's mansion? Prime Minister, there is no need to deny it.
General Yan followed up.
Miss Ling is indeed kneeling outside the war king's mansion, begging an audience with the king. This stems from the king's long-standing impartiality and resolve. He honors his word without fail. Even an imperial decree cannot sway him. Naturally, he won't alter his principles for one woman's sake. That is why he hasn't received Miss Yun yet.
Prime Minister Lin may not pity his own daughter, but we cannot abide seeing a delicate woman driven to such desperate measures. Why don't we few step forward to plead on behalf of His Highness, the Crown Prince?
Prime Minister Yun's face flushed an ashen hue, like pig's liver.
Yun Zirao Yu is so foolish. Kneeling outside the war king's mansion at dawn to beg for mercy. Does she intend to make this known to all under heaven? Your Majesty, I merely believe His Highness the Crown Prince's noble status should not be subjected to daily reprimands.
Such treatment damages the Crown Prince's dignity, and if Prime Minister Yun truly values His Highness's prestige, then 3 years ago, he should have halted the Crown Prince's improper conduct, whether Ziao was the adopted daughter or the legitimate daughter of the Prime Minister's house. That gave His Highness the Crown Prince no right to humiliate her at will. As the foremost among all officials, the Prime Minister failed to promptly dissuade the Crown Prince from his grave mistake, and even colluded with him to conceal it from your Majesty, calling it a trifle, a mere nothing. That is sheer negligence. On a larger scale, it is aiding a tyrant in his abuses. General Chen, such bold words. The matter is far from reaching that extreme. His Majesty is still here.
General Chen, mind your tone.
Since His Majesty ascended the throne, he has governed with unwavering diligence, balancing grace and authority, with rewards and punishments, meted out justly, never mistreating his loyal ministers, and treating subjects and commoners with benevolence. Thus, the entire court holds His Majesty in profound reverence, truly regarding him as a rare enlightened ruler in a millennium. Yet this act by the Crown Prince not only tarnishes his own dignity, but also besmirches His Majesty's wise reputation. This minister feels profound sorrow over it, which is why my words grew somewhat vehement. Please, Your Majesty, forgive me.
What General Chen has said echoes the very thoughts in my heart. Miss Yun, perhaps due to her unfortunate background, has not been favored by Prime Minister Yun, nor received any protection. In my view, she is no different from the defenseless common folk. Thus, it only heightens the suspicion that the Crown Prince is bullying the weak. The Crown Prince, relying on his exalted status, punishes at will once he ascends the throne as emperor. Might he not, by virtue of that status, arbitrarily execute any blameless minister, consort, or commoner, killing at whim and wielding unchecked power over life and death, yet brandishing his heroic might unchecked? Such power over life and death will plunge the subjects into constant fear and dread, ever anxious for their very lives. How then can the ministers devote themselves wholly to aiding His Majesty, lest the infamous title of tyrant spread far and wide, and the realm teeter on the brink of ruin?
General Yan, one of the ministers, spoke up urgently.
This punishment is far too severe.
General Yan glanced at him. Chen Feng.
Only then did I see the Yunxia woman kneeling alone outside the Shangwang mansion. Her figure frail and slight, slender and emaciated. A pang of pity stirring unbeaten in my heart, and a profound indignation toward a father like Yin Qingxia, which is why I became so impassioned. I beg Your Majesty's forgiveness.
Emperor Chongwu gazed at the several figures kneeling in the hall, his face betraying no emotion, neither joy nor anger. Prime Minister Yun's face darkened, his hands clenching unconsciously.
My dear ministers, what are your thoughts on this matter?
Your Majesty.
The Minister of Personnel, Song Mingshang, spoke respectfully.
Though Generals Yan and Chen were overcome with emotion, their words fervent. Yet one point they made rings true. If a sovereign, swayed by mere whim, can arbitrarily punish the daughter of a courtier, it truly undermines faith that he could become a valiant monarch. Once he ascends the throne, in the future, will the crown prince, on a mere whim, arbitrarily punish someone who displeases him? Regardless of whether that person has erred or not, such conduct is gravely improper. Yet a ruler is no saint and cannot be perfectly just in all things. While handling the myriad complexities of state affairs daily, there are bound to be occasional missteps. That is why ministers must offer timely counsel. 3 years ago, the Prime Minister knew the Crown Prince had erred but failed to dissuade him. This constitutes disloyalty. He watched helplessly as his daughter was punished and sent to change clothes, failing to act when he should have. This is dereliction of duty. Today, knowing the Crown Prince's fault, he forces his daughter and endangers her plea for mercy. This is even more deliberate wrongdoing, suspected of defying the imperial decree. Your Majesty, we beseech a just ruling to uphold the court's discipline.
The Ministers of Rights and Personnel have long been prime candidates to succeed the Prime Minister, with the most precedents for promotion to Prime Minister coming from these two posts. They are thus naturally his rivals. Emperor Chongwu heard his response. His gaze darkened slightly.
He quivered with agitation.
The prince has arrived. Let him enter.
He stands tall and upright, with stern, unyielding features. He offers a shallow bow to the emperor in courtly fashion.
What brings you to the palace?
To beg the prince for atonement.
Zirao kneels, imploring the prince to plead on behalf of the crown prince. The prince remains stern and unyielding, ignoring his desperate plea. Very well. This humble official truly cannot bear to see such a delicate woman kneeling there. So I took it upon myself to act. Afterward, this humble official is willing to face military justice.
Good. Chen Jiangko is, after all, Miss Yun's uncle. Even if Beiqi has no blood ties to Miss Yun, he still pities her as a fragile young woman in her dire circumstances. Beiqi couldn't help but think, if his own daughter were driven to such desperation, this humble servant would stake his life and never allow her to suffer such bullying. General Yan, how would you know Zirou's plight at home? As an outsider, how could you possibly understand? Just because she pleaded at the War King's residence, you assume her situation is dire. That is far too presumptuous. Humph, whether Miss Yun's life at home is good or not, I truly have no idea. After all, she was sent to the laundry bureau 3 years ago.
So, if Prime Minister Yun insists on forcing Miss Yun to plead, why not let this humble servant find someone else to beg this favor for His Highness, the Crown Prince? I beseech Prime Minister Yun, once you return, to stop pressuring Miss Yun. She is but a delicate woman without the strength to truss a chicken, utterly powerless to sway His Majesty's decree. His Majesty punishing the Crown Prince embodies the justice that even princes who break the law must face the same penalties as commoners. If yesterday's edict were revoked today, wouldn't that make it a case of issuing orders in the morning only to revoke them by evening? Does the Prime Minister wish to turn His Majesty into an emperor who goes back on his word?
Insolence before His Majesty.
You dare bicker and clamor like this. Have you no regard for the hierarchy between sovereign and subjects?
Emperor Chongwu sat silently reclined on the dragon throne, his imperial countenance betraying not even a flicker of displeasure at the affront.
Because the general is right. As the emperor of the empire, if you act on your own whims and arbitrarily judge others, how can the people believe you to be a sage and just ruler? The crown prince's actions were gravely mistaken, and Prime Minister Yun's cover-up is akin to aiding a tyrant in his abuses. Such measures truly fail to convince the masses.
A heavy silence descended upon the hall.
The Yun family daughter endured 3 years of injustice, and this wrong was the crown prince's to bear. Though the crown prince has been punished, the Yun family daughter's grievances remain unaddressed. Peter proclaimed, "This servant conveys His Majesty's decree. The daughter of the Yun family, Yun Ziyao, is hereby involved as the Princess Qingping, bestowed with 1,000 tiles of gold, and 100 mu of prime farmland in the capital environs.
This servant obeys the decree.
Emperor Chongwu turned his gaze to Prime Minister Yun.
Prime Minister, you failed to timely admonish the Crown Prince for his errors, allowing him to abuse his private authority unchecked.
You are demoted in rank and docked half a year's salary,
and confined to your residence for a month of reflection. Devote yourself properly to preparations for the Crown Prince's grand wedding, and fulfill your duties as a father.
Prime Minister Yun's heart sank like into an icy cellar. For his month's absence from court meant his duties and powers would be delegated to others.
This minister gratefully accepts your majesty's grace. I deeply understand the general's indignation on behalf of the Crown Prince. Yet your words today were indeed somewhat irreverent. Confine the princess to quarters for 8.5 months of quiet reflection to be restrained henceforth.
General Chen and his men received the decree and gave thanks. They are barely satisfied with this resolution.
Crown Prince Peter Chan received his orders and departed.
The prince who took a beating yesterday is lying in bed, recovering right now, when the palace eunuch arrived to deliver the decree.
What time is it? Has Father Emperor already dismissed court so early?
The emperor is conferring with the ministers in Chaoming Hall. War King and several generals are all present.
War King is there too. So what happened in Chaoming Hall?
General Chen, General Yan, General Zhao, and General Ling have impeached the Prime Minister, saying the Prime Minister forced Miss Yun to plead. On behalf of Crown Prince, it is said, Miss Yun got up before dawn, when the sky was still dark, and knelt outside War King's mansion, begging War King to enter the palace and see the Emperor, to intercede for Crown Prince.
Miss Yun knelt outside War King's mansion, begging War King to plead his case.
How could this be?
Does Yunzi still have feelings for me? Yunzi Ru isn't truly intending to marry War King at all. She is just playing hard to get, to make me jealous. That is all. But the one she truly wants to marry is me. He was likely frightened in the palace yesterday. Spent the night in restless anxiety, fearing that after punishing me, I would no longer forgive him. So he couldn't wait to plead for battle at first light.
The more Mo Jingling pondered it, the more it seemed only right. And he couldn't suppress a faint, cold sneer. He donned fresh robes and hastened toward the palace. The wounds on his body throbbed faintly, but they did not impede his movements in the least. For the punishment had been delivered with a mere thin plank, and the attendants had gone easy, holding back their strokes. So naturally, no tendons were torn nor bones broken. Once inside the palace, he soon reached Chaoming Hall, where Mo Jingling knelt reverently upon the ground and offered his salutations. As General Chen fixed his gaze upon his form,
Your Highness the Crown Prince endured punishment yesterday. Yet today you move with such effortless grace, appearing far nimbler than poor Miss Yun ever could.
Mo Jingling's countenance darkened in an instant, swiftly comprehending the barbed intent behind those words, realizing he should have feigned a touch of frailty moments ago.
He is the Crown Prince, after all. Even bearing wounds upon his person, he must uphold the fierce, rabid guise befitting his station as heir. Must I, in my solitude, resemble some wilted, sickly wretch? That is not quite it. This humble servant merely observes that your highness's sturdy frame surpasses even that of seasoned warriors, with not the slightest trace of injury lingering from the chastisement. A compliment, nothing more, to your highness.
Mo Jingling's face grew shadowed and grim. General Chen, on whose authority do you presume to spew such reckless drivel in this hall?
Yesterday, this servant Li Dicheng caned each of Crown Prince Shangshang's eunuchs 20 times, 20 strokes per person. Indeed, today, in the presence of His Majesty, the War King, and all you generals, if anyone dares to go easy on the Crown Prince's men again, they'll be dragged out and beaten to death on the spot. Get on the caning bench.
You refuse to accept this.
3 years ago, when you abused your authority, did you ever consider if others would accept it?
Mo Jingling was at a loss for words. Yet deep down, he seethed with resentment.
What right did they have to impeach him?
Everyone present could see Mo Jingling's defiance, but not a soul spoke up in his defense. Pleading for the Crown Prince would mean defying the War King himself. 2 eunuchs swiftly brought in the caning bench.
What are you waiting for? The next time you think of abusing your power, remember well the lesson you're learning today. You'll think twice before acting rashly.
莫景林 face grew rigid as he bent over the caning bench. The other 2 eunuchs took positions on either side and lashed down at his buttocks and thighs with far more force than the leniency shown yesterday. Before long, cold sweat beaded on Mo Jinglin's forehead, for the palace was riddled with the harem mistress's spies, and one eunuch had already slipped the word to Fengyi Palace. The empress is reclining on the couch at this moment, 2 palace maids kneeling beside her, kneading her legs.
Your Majesty! Empress!
Why is the emperor in such a panic? The sky's falling.
It is bad His Highness the Crown Prince was summoned to Chongming Hall at dawn, and the Emperor has ordered him reprimanded. Those eunuchs who carried out the Crown Prince's foolish deed yesterday on account of the Crown Prince's feng shui, they've all been caned 20 strokes. Empress, the Emperor's dead, set on punishing the Crown Prince harshly.
What did you say, Empress?
Men, prepare the carriage to Chongming Palace.
Empress, please calm your anger. The palace gates are guarded by the imperial bodyguards. They won't let you through. In Chongming Hall, King Chuan and several of his generals are already there. The emperor's decreed no one is to plead for the crown prince.
And King Zhang is there too.
She clutches the handkerchief in her hand and slowly sinks back onto the couch.
King Zhang is hell, bent on clashing with the crown prince. But why? Just to vent his rage over Yunze. Xun Shao, when did he start conspiring with King Zhang?
Yuan Hai, go and
Question Sun Ziyao about who he is being closely associating with over those 3 years. Dig it all up for me, every detail.
Yuan Hai bows and takes his leave.
As long as Crown Prince Mo Jingling commits no grave error, no one can shake his position as Crown Prince. As for that Jinx Yunziyang, his schemes to wed into the workings family are futile.
A pipe dream, silence enveloped Chongming Hall, broken only by the sharp cracks of the bamboo cane striking flesh. Emperor Chongwu sat in stony silence upon the dragon throne, gazing quietly at General Chen, his cold stare fixed on the general's ashen face. He longed to ask him outright,
Can His Highness the Crown Prince's integrity withstand this trial?
The 2 eunuchs withdrew in trepidation as Mo Jingling gently closed his eyes. Enduring excruciating pain, he knelt to the ground.
Your son thanks Father Emperor for this chastisement.
Tomorrow at dawn, enter the palace and kneel behind Chongming Hall. Until I return from court, I and the assembled ministers shall witness your punishment firsthand. And should any show leniency, that one shall suffer alongside the Crown Prince.
These words are meant for the war king and the generals.
By your majesty's imperial decree, given the crown prince's exalted station, daily punishment would only aggravate his injuries, lest it inflict undue harm upon his royal person. Thus, we beseech your majesty to set a duration, to avoid excessive severity.
On the surface, for the crown prince's sake, yet in truth, to compel the emperor to decree a precise term of chastisement, lest the matter drag on unresolved in the coming days.
What duration does the array king deem fitting? Half a month. It is no more than that. Otherwise, the crown prince's health couldn't withstand it. Very well. Then half a month it shall be. Crown Prince, you've heard the decree.
Your son has heard it. I thank you for your mercy, Father Emperor, and I thank you for your leniency, Royal Uncle.
Yunziao pleaded with this king on your behalf. At first, this king had no intention of entertaining her. For a mere woman to dare interfere in His Majesty's judgment, even if she is this king's prospective consort. This time, she has overstepped her bounds. This king will not grant her such privilege. Yet, since she was willing to intercede for the crown prince, it shows her broad-mindedness, her kind and compassionate nature for Yunziao's sake today. This king is willing to extend this favor to the crown prince. No need for daily confinement. Half a month will suffice. I trust His Royal Highness will take this as a stern warning henceforth, and never again abuse his authority, or wantonly harm the defenseless.
Mo Jingling seethed with fury, convinced that Yunziao's act of intercession had provoked the war king's displeasure, and this was his deliberate retaliation against him.
This minister has pressing military duties, and takes his leave. As for you lot, without this king's permission, you'll barge into the palace and cause a scene. Return to camp at once and drill for 2 extra hours. Skip lunch today as well.
This humble officer understands.
The generals followed suit in excusing themselves. while the ministers exchanged subtle glances. After all this commotion, the ringleaders were getting off with just 2 hours of extra drill, plus no midday meal.
Escort the crown prince back to his residence, and have 2 imperial physicians attend him.
The 4 generals followed closely behind Kanglen. Leaving the palace and returning to the war prince's mansion, General Chen followed him into Mo Kanglen's study.
Your Highness, in my humble opinion, Zirao must be the legitimate daughter of the Prime Minister's household, while Yun Zijun's background is highly suspicious.
I will personally dispatch men to investigate this matter, so there is no need for you to intervene and alert the snake, lest you beat the grass and startle it.
Your Highness, why do you wish to take Zirao as your concubine? What about her merits, your high regard?
She is stunningly beautiful.
And that is reason enough.
That is hardly sufficient. I am superficial, after all, caring only for beauty's allure.
I shall take my leave, Your Highness.
Then arrange a few spies to uncover every suspicious contact Prime Minister Yun had 3 years ago, especially anything tied to Yun Zijun.
In the inner quarters of the Prime Minister's mansion, the atmosphere was quite lively, as Madame Yuan and Yun Zirao busied themselves entertaining the female guests.
Lady Fenghua needs still young, immature, and spoiled by us at home, and blurted out some unkind words in the moment. I hope Miss Yun Zirao can be forgiving and not hold it against her.
As Princess Duan spoke, she turned to signal her maidservant to present a brocade box.
This is a small token of my sincerity for Miss Yun Zirao. Please don't refuse it. Oh, I absolutely cannot accept this. A phoenix hairpin, only the Empress may wear one. If Zirao were to accept it, it would be a grave impropriety, please. Your Highness, take it back. The Empress wears a 9-tailed phoenix hairpin. This is a 7-tailed one, which both Princess Jing and the noble consort may wear. The day Zia weds Prince Zhang, this hairpin will perfectly suit Zirao's noble station. County Princess Fenghua spoke without thought, and upon her return, the prince has already punished her severely. Please, Zirao, do accept this gift without hesitation, lest we remain troubled in our hearts.
The madam claps softly as a nanny enters from outside.
The Prime Minister has returned, saying he wishes to see the eldest miss. The Prime Minister surely has words for Ziya, so I shall not intrude, and take my leave.
The other ladies rise to follow her, as Madame Yuan escorts them to the front courtyard. She watches as Princess Rong and the ladies depart, before turning to accompany Zirao to meet the Prime Minister.
Be sure to keep the phoenix hairpin from Princess Duan safe, and do not bring it out lightly. Such a precious treasure. Should we truly accept it?
County Princess Fenghua spoke out of turn, and Princess Zhuang has atoned on her behalf. This is their way of showing sincerity. And if we refuse, she may believe I harbor no forgiveness for County Princess Fenghua.
Madame Yun ponders for a moment, finding wisdom in her words.
Zijun knelt through the night in the ancestral hall till the wee hours. He is in low spirits, so keep your distance from him for now.
Yeah.
Lately, the Yun household dwells in sorrow. Not just Zijun, Yun Zijun, and Yun Zexuan linger in the gloom as well. Mrs. Ding steps through the doorway and spots Prime Minister Yun with his hands clasped behind his back,
pacing restlessly. Rebellious wretch, my lord. What are you trying to do here?
Prime Minister Yun's hand freezes in midair.
Look at this mess you've caused. It is all over the court now. Not only has the Crown Prince been severely punished, but I've been dragged down with him too. Suspended from duty for a full month.
Are you satisfied now? Yun Zexuan and Yun Zijun rush into the main hall. Overhear these words.
Just as they arrive. Father, what has happened? Why on earth have they suspended you out of nowhere?
Before Prime Minister Yun can even explain.
Zirao, your mind is twisted with malice.
You've injured me time and again, that I could bear. But now you're turning your grudge on Father too.
As the adopted daughter of the Prime Minister's house.
From childhood to now, Father has fed you, clothed you, lavished you with wealth and honor. And this is how you repay him.
I have no idea what Big Brother is talking about. When have I ever held a grudge against Father?
Still playing the innocent sister.
I know you resent me for stealing your rightful place, but I didn't choose any of this. Father only reclaimed his own flesh and blood. What is so wrong with that?
Enough! Both of you! Shut your mouths! You two haven't even sorted out what really happened, yet you're jumping to accuse Zirao. Did you see her do anything with your own eyes?
Mother, that so-called virtuous Zirao is nothing but a venomous shrew, ruthless and heartless. Utterly without shame or decency. Seeing no family in her eyes, all for revenge against us. She is capable of anything.
Big brother, what have I ever done to you that you hate me with such hysterical fury, as if you want to tear me limb from limb?
What have you done to me? You know full well in your heart. Vicious shrew.
She ruined his lifeline. He has never encountered a woman so scheming and venomous.
Big brother went to such length to drive me out, truly racking his brains for it, when clearly I've done nothing wrong. Yet from Big brother's gritty teeth tone, I can tell he acts as if I've committed some unforgivable atrocity. Fine, when King Zhao arrives to discuss the wedding date, I'll beg him to bring it forward, ideally marrying within 3 days, so I can leave sooner, and stop being an eyesore in the Yun family.
If the War King knew what a venomous woman you are, he'd never marry you. Shut your mouth.
Xuan, you're going too far these days. My lord, how could I not know what Zirao has truly done wrong, even if she is not the legitimate daughter of the Yun family? Do you all have to treat her like the enemy? Has she murdered someone or burned down a house?
I told her to plead with the Crown Prince, and she went straight to the War King's residence and knelt outside, blowing the whole affair up for all to know. That several generals under the War King marched into the palace to complain. Not only did the Crown Prince face severe punishment, even I got dragged into it.
It was kneeling outside the War King's residence. Doesn't the War King intend to marry our sister as his wife? If sister just speaks to him about it, surely he'd grant her request.
I'll seek an audience with the War King. The guards at the Wangfu told me the lord is tied up with military duties. They wouldn't let me through. Father's warnings echoed in my mind, my heart pounding with worry, leaving me no choice but to kneel outside the mansion, begging until the lord would deign to see me. To my surprise, several generals arrived at the mansion out of nowhere.
You're scheming with ill intent from the start, thinking that once you're wed to the War King, you'll be beyond reproach. So you'll resort to any means necessary, all to avenge yourself on father and the Crown Prince. All because of the humiliations Zirao endured, banished to the Wash Bureau for 3 long years. And you hold father and the Crown Prince responsible.
Jin Zexuan, is it Zirao who is truly so venomous? Or have you twisted him into something far more wicked than he is? Mother, even if everything you've said holds true, hasn't Zirao truly suffered 3 years of torment? She only wants justice for what she has endured. Surely that is forgivable, isn't it? But you're no victim in this. So you shouldn't stand there in judgment, heartlessly accusing your own sister like she means nothing. Where is even a shred of brotherly kindness in you anymore?
No matter what I do, father's never satisfied anyway, so be it. Why hold me back from speaking my mind?
How could sister possibly talk back to father like that? Last night, I was hit with this baseless injustice, and when I got home, mother scolded me harshly, then shut me in the ancestral hall to kneel the night away. Yet, I never once argued back with her. Father only chided you a couple of times, and already sister snapping back at him.
What? At once, Prime Minister Yun turned to Madam Yun.
You are Zijin's mother. How could you strike your own daughter so harshly? Is there any mother who would do such a thing?
A mother disciplining her daughter is only natural and right. If the Prime Minister finds it improper, you can always find her a new mother. I wouldn't mind in the least.
Mother, I meant no blame toward you. My daughter admits her fault and begs your punishment. Those words from mother just now have overwhelmed your daughter. I truly meant no such thing. I beg you, mother, to see the truth.
Madam Dean didn't spare her a single glance.
Does the Prime Minister deem me unqualified to discipline her?
I've never meant anything of the sort. It is merely that your hand was too heavy.
Yet, Zirao traded away 3 years of his medical title, while the Prime Minister turned a blind eye with a clear conscience, and Zijong faces punishment. But this once, you can't bear it, though Zijong is indeed the Prime Minister's own flesh and blood. Zirao has been raised in the Yun household for 14 years. I refuse to believe there is no fatherly bond whatsoever between them, so the Prime Minister needn't hide behind blood ties and adoption.
Besides, who truly is the blood child, and who the adopted one, he knows full well.
Indeed. They can't be lumped together.
They truly cannot be equated. For my disciplining my daughter is perfectly justified, whereas the Crown Prince abused his authority. He has already met with due punishment, which proves the Emperor's wisdom, unswayed by the likes of you and the Prince.
Chen Shi, you've gone too far.
Yun Zexuan turned to the real culprit, knowing full well that Yun Zirao's duplicity had completely blinded her mother.
If you think I'm showing favoritism, my lord, you can find another mother for Zishuan. I won't stand in your way, or you could take her with you to court yourself. Carry her when you go out. Keep her by your side even while handling official duties. I'm in no position to interfere, and I never will be again.
I never said you weren't fit to be a mother. I just want you to treat Zijun fairly.
When have I ever been unfair to her?
Zijun went without 3 years' worth of bird's nest supplements. Why give them all to Ziao?
Because Zirao is the weakest right now. She is the one who needs the supplements. Besides, those supplements all came from my own private funds. I'll give them to whomever I please. If anyone objects, they can buy their own with their own money.
Yun Zijun's face drained of color. Her hands at her sides, slowly clenching the hem of her robe.
Mother, it is my fault. Please, calm your anger. I'm quarreling with your father here.
And yet, you insist it is your fault. How could I possibly blame you? Your sister spent 3 years in the changing bureau. You bribed Zhang Mengmeng to beat her, starve her, force her to wash endless loads of laundry every day. Now that the truth has come out, all I did was give you a light punishment, and you couldn't wait to run to your father and tattle. How could you possibly be at fault? No, it is all my fault. I can't manage a daughter like you. From now on, don't call me mother. I can't bear the weight of it.
She turns and drags Yun Ziao away.
Lady Chen, what on earth are you trying to do?
Tomorrow I'll go meet all the censors at court and urge them to enter the palace to question the emperor on whether it is right for me to punish my own wayward daughter. The prime minister, head of all officials, ignores his aggrieved daughter and delivers a stern rebuke, yet shields a daughter who actually erred. I want to see how the censors judge your utter madness.
Lady Chen, do you even realize what you're doing?
Mother, you mustn't, absolutely not. Mother, calm your anger. Wasn't it just the self-defense striking technique? Please, urge Mother to prioritize the family's greater good. The imperial decree has arrived.
Everyone in the room startles slightly as Prime Minister Yun composes himself, smoothing his expression, then turns and strides out.
Those sisters' actions were a bit reckless. Weren't those generals the ones meddling in affairs? Since Prince Zhang intends to marry sister, he can't even grant such a minor request. And yet he indulges his generals to interfere, with merits towering above the rest. Doesn't Prince John realize that once he marries sister, father will become his father-in-law?
Yun Zirao gives a sarcastic smile. The family arrives in the front courtyard.
This servant requests the Lord receive the decree.
Prime Minister Yun kneels, and the Yun family behind him kneels in turn.
By the decree of Emperor Tian Changyun, the eldest daughter of the Yun family, Yun Ziru, of gentle disposition and refined character, embodying palace virtue in patient forbearance, is hereby conferred the title of County Princess Qingping, bestowed 1,000 taels of gold, and 100 mu of fertile land. Thus it is decreed.
You, Zijun, eunuch, did you deliver the wrong decree? Why is Yun Ziao being made a county princess? I'm the legitimate daughter of the Yun family. Yun Yao is just a fake imposter. So why would His Majesty make her a county princess?
Lady Yun turns her head and glances at her, her eyes carrying a warning.
Hey, Miss Yun, you're joking. How could His Majesty's decree be delivered wrongly? That would cost one's head.
With that, he calmly hands the imperial decree to Yun Jiao.
His Majesty also has a verbal edict for the Prime Minister. His Majesty says the Prime Minister knew of the Crown Prince's errors, yet failed to fulfill his duty of admonition, and was negligent in disciplining his second daughter, Yun Zijun. He is to be docked half a year's salary. Return home and reflect behind closed doors over this next month. Besides needing to focus more on County Princess Qingping's wedding, you must also strengthen the discipline of your second daughter. And I trust the Prime Minister won't forget.
At these words, Yuan Zexuan and Yuan Zijun both pale instantly.
Eunuch, you've had a hard journey.
Oh dear, not at all, not at all. Everyone here, congratulations to Miss Yun. No, congratulations to County Princess Qingping. You and Prince John are truly a match made in heaven. Prince John has a keen eye.
Yun Zijun was so furious, her face turned pale.
A lowly demoness like her. What nonsense! To be involved as a county princess!
After the eunuch delivering the decree departed,
it seems even the emperor knows that I, as her mother, failed to discipline my own daughter properly. So he commanded the prime minister to take her in hand. From now on, the duty of educating Zijun falls to the prime minister. I only hope the Prime Minister won't disappoint the Emperor.
He clasped Yun Ziyao's hand and turned to leave.
Mother, your daughter knows her mistake. I had no intention of wronging you.
Mother, Sijin, though you are my own flesh and blood, it seems there is no bond between us mother and daughter. My 3 years of devoted love fed to the dogs. In the future, for any matter, go straight to your father.
Yun Zijun stood frozen in place.
Why does mother favor Yun Zirao so? In her heart, Juner is mother's true-born daughter.
Yun Zijun's heart skipped a beat. She suddenly wondered if mother knew the secret.
Father.
Your mother is still in the heat of her anger. What she said was mere venting in her rage. Don't take it to heart.
Yun Zijun pursed her lips and nodded faintly.
Even if a mother withholds her love from her daughter these days, endear it go often before your mother and smile serenely. Once this storm has passed, I'll resolve it. The Emperor's misunderstanding of you, and restore your betrothal to the Crown Prince.
Yes, daughter takes her leave.
Prime Minister Yun watched her depart. Then he turned and headed to the study, and summoned Yun Zexuan as well.
What makes you call Zirao vicious? Tell me.
Father might not believe it. The day Zirao first returned to the Yun household, she dunked Zijun right into the water. And after nearly drowning him, upon hearing my scolding, she shoved Zijun straight into the river, then turned around with a completely different expression, panicking as she rushed to find mother, claiming that Zijun had fallen in. I was too busy pulling Zijun out of the water to notice what Ziyao was whispering to mother. But by the time I went to mother to set the record straight, Mother Qing had already stopped believing me entirely, and insisted that Ziyao was too frail, too weak to even tie up a chicken, covered in wounds all over her body, and accused me, as the elder brother, of not acting like one at all. I think mother saw those scars on Ziyao's body, and it stirred up the pain of those 14 lost years. That mother-daughter bond, but her guilt and self-blame made her feel she hadn't protected her daughter well enough. So her attitude shifted so drastically these past few days.
Prime Minister Lin let out a quiet sigh of relief upon hearing this. At least it meant he hadn't uncovered the truth about Zirao and Zijun's origins.
These past few days, the Prime Minister's residence has been in the eye of the storm, especially with the unequal treatment between Zijun and Zirao at home. That has already drawn the scrutiny of court officials. You mustn't confront Zirao again. No matter how much resentment boils inside you, on the surface, you have to keep up the facade of deep sibling affection.
Got it. Rest assured, Father.
Yun Ziran ruined my entire life. I won't let him get away with it.
Ah, Prime Minister, the butler has come to report.
The War Prince has arrived. Please, invite him in.
Prime Minister Yun and Yun Zexuan went out to greet him together.
Greetings, War Prince.
This prince has taken the liberty of visiting. I hope I haven't disturbed you, Prime Minister.
Not at all. My lord, please come in. This prince has come to discuss the wedding with the Prime Minister.
Mo Kangalan stepped into the study.
This prince has consulted an astrologer for the dates. Betrothal gifts on the 28th of this month, and the wedding on the 8th of next month. I wonder if the Prime Minister has any other suggestions.
We defer to your highness.
She has never given this marriage a second thought, so naturally, the sooner she is married off, the better. Then the Prime Minister's residence can enjoy some peace sooner.
Since the Prime Minister has no objections, then this prince will say no more. I wish to meet my fiancée. The Prime Minister surely won't refuse.
Before the Prime Minister could even respond,
the matriarch laid down the rules. No physical contact between men and women. Before marriage, it is improper to meet with unrelated men.
Mo Kangalan smiled indifferently.
What if this prince insists on seeing her?
Yun Zexuan's expression shifted slightly.
Since your highness is about to marry my daughter, it is only natural for a betrothed couple to meet. Oh, people, she is just the eldest miss, after all.
Mo Kangalan stood up.
This prince will present the betrothal gifts on the 28th. No need to rush this meeting.
After saying that, he turned and walked out. With that, he turned and left, leaving Yun Zexuan's face pale one moment and flushed the next. He bowed his head and saw him off. In the following days, the mansion remained calm and serene. Shangshuexuan has been fully renovated. On the day Yun Ziyao moves into Shangshuexuan, just as Mo Kangalan arrives to present the betrothal gifts, the betrothal procession is quite grand, with gongs and drums resounding all along the way. Crowds line the streets to watch the spectacle. Countless women envy Yun Zirao's stroke of good fortune. Ning Miaochen, the Ning family daughter, amid the crowd, wears a sullen expression.
Does he truly fancy Yun Zirao that much? Why on earth does he like her? What could he possibly like about her? Is it her 3 years of laundry skills from the laundry bureau that he adores?
She won't let Yun Zirao marry into the working's mansion so easily. Brand new rosewood chests are neatly arranged across the front and middle courtyards, radiating an unmistakable festive cheer. The master of ceremonies strains his voice to proclaim each betrothal gift, leaving Prime Minister Yun's face brighter than it has been in ages. Yun Zizhong, on one hand, sees with jealousy at the war king's such devotion, while on the other, he secretly delights that these gifts will one day come to him.
I shall prepare a lavish dowry for Zirao. Once she weds into the war king's mansion, every garment to try on and daily necessity will be attended to in the finest detail, including these medical records from the king's list, all to be taken back with Zirao as her private property following the wedding. I trust the king will cherish Zirao with all sincerity and not betray her late mother's memory.
Prime Minister Yun furrows his brow ever so slightly, his gaze upon him laced with clear displeasure.
These betrothal gifts were bestowed precisely to win Zirao's hand. The Prime Minister commands vast authority, and the Yun family has no designs on scraping by with such trifles. When Zijin takes a bride in the future, not one of these gifts shall I withhold. They'll all depart with his own dowry.
Since I've sent over the betrothal gifts, the madam may dispose of them however she pleases. Once Zirao marries into the household, the dowry shall forever be hers alone to command. I, as prince, shall never lay a hand on it.
Thank you, my lord, for your boundless generosity.
Yuan Zijin's eyes burned with jealousy, nearly turning red.
Why does Zhang Zirao mean get all the fortune? Why? All the good luck falls to him.
Mo Kanglan soon bade farewell with his retinue.
Why decide to deliver the betrothal gifts to Zirao?
Zirao's constitution is frail, and even after marriage, she'll require precious tonics to restore her health, a process that won't happen overnight. Moreover, the war prince may march to battle at any moment, leaving the entire household for Zirao to manage, from top to bottom. With ample silver at her disposal, she can swiftly rally the household servants to her side, to serve her needs in days to come as she mingles with the princess consorts and noble ladies. If her gestures seem too meager, it'll only invite disdain from them. Thus, the richer her dowry, the more poise she'll carry in the future.
Even so,
the Prime Minister's residence isn't destitute, and without these betrothal gifts, the household won't exactly starve. Yet, by granting them to Zirao, we offer her the greatest aid of all.
Do as you will.
With a flick of his sleeves, he stormed away. 3 days hence, the Zhao prince's mansion delivered a full set of phoenix coronet and rosy cape, and the female envoy who brought the wedding gown personally assisted Yun Ziao in trying it on. Yun Ziao, adorned in the wedding gown, shed some of her former fragility in her countenance, gaining instead her radiant allure.
Young Lady Yun, you look absolutely stunning. This bridal gown was custom-made just for you.
The envy and resentment simmering in Yun Zijin's eyes nearly spill over.
This bridal gown is truly exquisite. The war prince has put such care into it for our elder sister.
Yun Zirao gazes at her reflection in the mirror, lost for words in the moment.
It is quite lovely, indeed. By tradition, a bride-to-be should embroider her own wedding gown. But Zirao passed away at 14, reborn in a new form. She never had the chance to stitch her own. I can see why he'd think of that. It is a thoughtful gesture, truly.
Must the wedding gown still be embroidered by hand? Mother, what is wrong? No one told me I had to embroider it myself.
You can ask your father about it. Have him find you a skilled embroiderer, and start learning the craft now. Only when it is finished will we discuss your marriage.
Yun Zijin's face drains off color, her hands clenching the fabric tightly. Nurse, Zhou hurries in to Madame Yun, spotting Yun Zijin at her side, and suddenly halts in her tracks. Madame Yun understands at once, signaling her to wait and speak later. Yun Zirao take off the bridal gown.
See that it is carefully put away, with no mishaps whatsoever. Rest assured, my lady official, we'll take our leave for now.
Madame Yun sees off the female official and returns to the chamber.
Nurse Zhou remains, while the others depart.
Yun Zijin eyes Nurse Zhou's enigmatic expression, a knot of unease forming, though she sees Yun Zirao already heading out, with no choice but to follow. Mama Zhou handed a letter to Madame Yun. A shocking outcry from the nameless courtyard. Madame Yun stared at these 6 words for a long while, her gaze deepening with concern.
Mama Zhou,
You've been keeping a close eye on the Prime Minister. He used to head to court every day, swamped with official duties, while I as his wife only managed the inner household, knowing nothing of his dealings outside. Now, he has been confined by imperial decree, and I doubt he can endure it for long.
A whole month stretches ahead, yet my husband remains eerily calm. Mother's handed over all her private savings to Zirao. What will she do when it is time for her own wedding? Rely just on father's meager salary. Yunjun stormed off to confront mother.
Why lavish Yun Zirao with so much family wealth? Who is her true-born daughter? After all, has mother learned something she shouldn't?
In a fury, he charged into Yun Zirao's new quarters. Yun Zirao was quietly reading a book. With just 3 days until her wedding,
Sister certainly learned from past mistakes. This time coming to see me, she knew to bring her maid along.
Today, with everyone around, I dare you to lay a hand on me now.
Yun Zirao hit to retort. You're wrong. I absolutely would.
What do you want from me?
The dowry mother's prepared for you. It has practically drained the entire family fortune. If you take it all when you leave, how will the Prime Minister afford to eat or drink afterward? What about the betrothal gifts for Big Brother's wedding? What about my own dowry when I marry? How will father handle his social obligations and courtly bribes? As a gentleman, can't you stop being so selfish?
My mother is the elder. She must give me a dowry. As her daughter, how could I possibly refuse? Wouldn't that be utter disobedience and unfilial?
I am my father's legitimate daughter, and my mother's own flesh and blood.
I've been raised at mother's side since I was a child. Our bond runs deep. Even if you were her biological daughter, it couldn't rival the over a decade of love between mother and me. Do you truly believe mother sees you as her own daughter?
Yun Ziran, you vile wretch! Go die!
Yun Zirao extended her right foot, and Yun Zijun, caught off guard, tripped over her leg, landing in a humiliating face plant. Second miss.
Second miss, are you all right?
Yun Zijun lay sprawled on the ground, propping herself up on the hands of the two maids to rise, then swung her hand to slap Yun Zirao across the face. Yun Zirao seized her wrist.
Eldest miss, let go!
Yun Zirao yanked Yun Zijun's hair and shoved her backward with all her might, sending Yun Zijun crashing to the ground, utterly defenseless. The fall left her dizzy and reeling. Chen Yu stood nearby, her face etched with shock and admiration as she watched her mistress. This was their family's frail and helpless eldest miss.
How could my sister be so careless? To trip just from walking. Kiao Luo, Kiao Yang, quickly, help my sister up.
The eldest miss before them wore an expression of deep concern, appearing so gentle and utterly harmless, yet revealing in that instant a flicker of hidden strength.
What are you all standing there stunned for? Hurry and help my sister up.
You've been pretending all along, and today you've finally shown your true colors, haven't you? Both Zhao Yang and Zhao Lu saw what you did, and you saw it with your own eyes too. You're nothing but a brutal monster! Second, miss, what are you talking about? The eldest miss didn't touch you at all. You rushed up yourself trying to slap the eldest miss, but tripped and fell flat on the ground. How dare you pin the blame on the eldest miss again? You saw the truth with your own eyes just now. Are you trying to cover for Yun Zirao? This servant wouldn't dare. But the eldest miss really didn't do anything at all. Second miss, you can't just wrongly accuse someone without cause, can you?
Bao Qing and Bao Qi stood by the door, silently listening to their quarrel.
You two just saw it. Yun Zirao commenting but a two-faced wretch. Prince Xiao was fooled by her fragile, innocent facade. Her true nature is vicious and cruel. She is utterly unworthy of becoming the War King's consort. Miss Yun II, you're losing all composure. The legitimate daughter of the Prime Minister's household should be poised and refined, well-versed in literature and etiquette, not hysterical like you are right now. She looks deranged. Yun Zirao had her hit me. You clearly saw it just now. She hit me.
Bao Qing and Bao Qi looked at her with pity. Xun Zijun suddenly whipped his head around to look. As Madame Yun entered from outside, her face impassive.
Have you caused enough of a scene?
Madam, please calm down. Oh my, now this is serious.
Hitting me again, all over that paltry dowry. You personally storm into the school district to throw a fit and spread lies that Zirao hit you. Let me tell you, the betrothal gifts and dowries for the Shun family's children are all under my control. I give them to whomever I please. Zirao is my daughter. I'm preparing a dowry for her, and that requires your permission.
Mother, I am your daughter too. Why are you so biased toward her? Mother, you gave all the dowry to sister. What am I supposed to do from now on?
Daughter, are you truly my daughter?
An impostor brought from who knows where, forcing her own flesh and blood daughter to endure 3 years of torment.
You two, tell me, did eldest miss strike second miss just now?
Madam, it was truly eldest miss just now.
If you dare help second Miss Lai again, I'll have a human trafficker sell you off right away.
Zhao Lu, tell Madam the truth. Speak the truth.
Madam, eldest Miss did not hit second Miss.
K.L. Yang 磕了头的 and spoke up first.
It was second Miss, dissatisfied with Madam's allocation of the dowry, who stormed in, fuming, to confront eldest Miss, claiming eldest Miss shouldn't take so much dowry. Then, when second Miss launched to strike eldest Miss, in her rash fury, she tripped and fell on her own. Madam Chu, please discern the truth.
What did you say?
Madam, spare me. This maidservant dares not aid second Miss in her lies. Eldest Miss truly did not lift a hand. It was second Miss who carelessly bumped into the table herself, swelling her forehead with a lump, all to frame eldest Miss. This maidservant, though she is second Miss's personal maidservant, I harbor no intent to harm eldest Miss. Madam Chu, please see clearly.
Haoshi, as Yun Zijun reaches out and grabs her clothes.
Young master, why are you lying? You are my handmaiden. Why are you taking her side? Yun Ziyang just struck me. Are you blind?
Miss Yuan'er, forgive my furrowed brow.
What intent brings you here today? As everyone here knows full well, you needn't fly into a rage out of shame just because K.L. Yang spoke a simple truth. Though K.L. Yang and K.L. Lu are your handmaidens, their status is so lowly, they have no way to protect themselves. When a mistress errs, it is at most a scolding, a spell of confinement. But if a maidservant slips, she is sold off or beaten to death. Surely you wouldn't bear to see them sold off for lying to shield you.
No.
It is not. Mother, they're all lying. It was truly elder sister who laid hands on me. They all saw it. They saw it with their own eyes. Mother.
Enough. K.L. Lu, K.L. Yang, the two of you, escort second Miss back to Tingyu Pavilion and confine her there. No one is to see her until the eldest Miss weds. She is not to be released. Indeed, if she dares stir up more trouble, you two will face punishment right alongside her.
K.L. Lu and K.L. Yang narrowly escape with their lives, hurriedly leading Yun Zijun away.
Mother, I'm innocent. I'm the sister who is being wronged. It is all just her putting on an act. They clearly saw it. They witnessed it with their own eyes. Mother!
Madam Yun's face turns as cold as frost, and only then does she approach Yun Ziyang.
Don't mind her. Get some good rest for the next couple of days. Hang in there. Become a lovely bride for Mimei.
Lady Yuan gave a few more instructions, then quickly turned and departed, as if some pressing matter urgently awaited her. Yun Zirao watched her retreating figure pensively. As she passed through Shang Shuangshan's courtyard gate,
Madam, the carriage is ready.
Lady Yun nodded, and LED Mama Zhou toward the back gate. The carriage was simple and unassuming. It hardly befitted Lady Yuan's station.
This must feel so confining, Madam.
It is no hardship. Too many spies lurk outside. Staying discreet keeps prying eyes at bay.
A short half-hour later, the carriage slipped into a narrow lane. It halted outside a courtyard, flanked by two towering sycamores at the entrance. Mama Zhou alighted and crept quietly behind the wall, peering out to watch the anonymous residents in silence. Noon was drawing near.
Madam, the Prime Minister is emerging.
Lady Yun stepped down from the carriage and moved to stand behind Mama Zhou. There stood the man she'd shared her bed and pillow with for 20 years, now turning to murmur something to the shadow within the doorway. Suddenly, a woman burst forth from the gateway, clinging to him from behind.
My lord, hide your face.
Mind you aren't seen.
In that instant, with Lady Liu, Lady Yun still glimpsed the woman's face. It is her. How could it be her? Mama Zhou's features hardened with outrage. Her face bore the fury of one who'd caught them red-handed. Prime Minister Yun quickly soothed the woman and hurriedly departed with his young attendant. After glimpsing the woman's carriage pull away, while waiting for it to vanish into the distance, Mrs. Yun stood there like a soulless walking corpse, utterly adrift.
Shall we go in for a closer look, Madam?
No need. For the War King's mansion.
The War King's mansion?
Yes. Let's deliver this dowry list straight to the War King's mansion. Xu Yunkang won't have a moment to regret it now.
The modest carriage wound its way discreetly toward the War King's mansion. Red lanterns already dangled outside the mansion, with bold red double happiness characters plastered along the gates and throughout the front courtyard. Mrs. Yun's abrupt request for an audience, when Prince Mokangelen learned of her arrival, betrayed no hint of surprise. He simply had her escorted to the flower hall and tea served.
This humble wife has been most presumptuous and begs your highness's forgiveness.
Please, be seated, mother-in-law.
This is the dowry list I prepared for Zirao. Please accept it on his behalf, your highness.
Madam, This means surrendering your entire dowry to Zirao.
Nothing held back.
Whatever's left wouldn't amount to much anyway. Madam, have you resolved to seek divorce by mutual consent from Prime Minister Yun?
Why would your highness assume as much?
Your visit today, madam, can't be solely about the dowry.
He slid a sealed missive across the table, right into Mrs. Yun's hands.
That woman in the nameless villa on the capital's outskirts, the one you just laid eyes on, doesn't she seem eerily familiar? But her true identity, I doubt you know it yet, madam.
Mrs. Dong stared at the true identity revealed in the secret letter before her, for it was Yun Zexuan's birth mother Yun Kang's former childhood sweetheart, the concubine Yan Shi, who had supposedly died in difficult childbirth after bearing Yan Zexuan. The secret letter contained only a scant few words. Illegitimate daughter of the Nanzhao emperor, entered the state of Qi in the first year of Changwu, becoming the concubine of Yun Kang, Minister of Personnel in Qi. In the third year of Changwu, she re-entered the banner from the east, and in the fourth year bore a daughter named Zijin.
The prince even knows full well what kind of crown prince he is dealing with.
He knows Yun Zijin's identity is a fabrication.
He knows Yun Zijin is a fraud. Knows Zirao is the legitimate daughter of the prime minister's household, and yet deliberately sent her to trade ranks and endure torment.
Making Zirao suffer such trials was merely to curry favor with Yun Zijin, while his true aim was to harness the power behind Yun Zijin, to solidify his own claim as heir apparent.
Yun Zijin's mother was merely an illegitimate daughter, drifting in exile for years, far from ordinary. After that fateful difficult birth, she feigned death and returned to reclaim her ancestral lineage. If the Nanzhao emperor cherished her all these years, she would now be a princess of Nanzhao in name and truth. And with a princess's backing, what formidable forces might she command?
Speaking of Yan Shi's true identity leaves one speechless. One dare not even touch on the Nanzhao emperor's scandalous romantic entanglements. Though for now, such details are of little consequence. Lady Dong, you need only know this. Yan Shi is now a princess of Nanzhao, deeply favored by the Nanzhao emperor, so much so that he would dispatch troops on her behalf at a moment's notice.
Mrs. Yan fell silent, her face etched with shock and uncertainty, unsure how to respond.
Why would he choose to become Yun Kang's concubine?
Back when he hadn't yet acknowledged his ancestry, Yan Shi and Yun Chengxiang were indeed childhood sweethearts. Yun Kang knew beforehand, but was unaware of his true identity, and for now, there is no way to confirm it. But Yan Shi does harbor feelings for Yun Kang. Moreover, she has a child in the Yun household. The madam knows this well. In this world, no matter how exalted one's status, once a woman has had a husband and born children, remarrying becomes exceedingly difficult. Thus, not long after Yan Shi returned to Nanzhao, she re-established contact with Prime Minister Yun. Yet after giving birth to Yun Zijun, she resolved to stay devotedly in Qi, scheming to wed the prince once he ascends the throne and take the madam's place. But she didn't wish for her daughter to suffer alongside her. Instead, she implored Yun Kang to bring Yun Zijun back to the prime minister's residence, and crucially, to present her as the legitimate daughter of the Yun family. Hence the charade 3 years ago of her being a married legitimate daughter.
So that is how it is.
If the madam intends to seek divorce from Prime Minister Yun under ancient rites, this is undoubtedly the wisest choice. But before the divorce in ancient rites, do not arouse his suspicions toward you.
Mo Kanglan offers her counsel.
The greater the tempestuous waves, the more one must remain composed. Letting a scandal erupt could serve as the pivotal breach for your open rift and divorce. Yet the matter of your identity as an enemy kingdom's princess must remain concealed for now.
I understand what you mean, Your Highness. Rest assured, Your Highness, I know just what to do. Your humble servant bids you farewell for now.
What is it you wish to do, madam? Feel free to proceed without reservation. Once this prince has taken Zirao as my wife, I shall cherish and protect her, and allow no one to mistreat her lightly. You need not concern yourself with Zirao's standing, madam.
My deepest thanks, Your Highness. Your humble servant takes his leave.
Upon leaving the war prince's mansion, Madame Yun boarded the carriage. She wondered, if Zirao hadn't come to her that day, sobbing her heart out, would she have gone on favoring Zijun instead? The round trip in the carriage had taken its time, and by the time she returned to the Prime Minister's mansion, noon had long passed. No sooner had Madame Yun arrived than she encountered Lord Yun Chengxiang. He stood at the back gate, clearly waiting for her on purpose.
Where have you been, madam? And why travel in such a modest carriage?
I've just returned from the war prince's mansion. I delivered the dowry list to His Highness. On the day Ziao weds and departs, have him send men to inspect the dowry every item listed. Should even one piece be missing, send someone at once to reclaim it from this mansion.
Zhong Zijun remarked that you've given over half the family's estates to Zirao as her dowry. If you do this, what future awaits Zexuan and Zijun? One must wed, the other take a wife.
My lord, this is what I've prepared for Zirao. Half the dowry comes from my personal stores, the very dowry I brought when I married into this house. Not a single tael of your silver has been touched. The other half comprises the betrothal gifts from the war prince's household. Had the war prince not sought her hand, and no betrothal gifts arrived for Zirao, would Zexuan simply forgo a wife, so Zijun won't get married then?
This isn't the same thing at all.
H, I almost forgot. With Zirao's 3 years in the laundry bureau, everyone in their hearts curses Zirao as a mere laundry servant, if not for King Zhao's insistence on marrying Zirao. She wants to marry her ideal husband. I'm afraid it'd be harder than climbing to heaven. Have you ever thought about how she'll live the rest of her life?
Even if she doesn't marry the war prince, she could still marry the crown prince.
Marry the crown prince as a concubine.
H, you're just dying for her to marry the crown prince as a concubine.
Prime Minister Yun flies into a rage.
Outrageous!
Xun Kang, if you dare lay a hand on me today, in less than half an hour, I'll have the Chen family come fetch me and stir up such chaos in the Prime Minister's residence that no one has peace. Let alone the marriage between Zijong and Zixuan. Even Zirao's marriage will be none of my concern. You can explain it to the outsiders yourself.
Prime Minister Yun trembles with anger all over.
You've really become a different person lately.
I have indeed changed. It is not because your favoritism went too far. Would Zirao have suffered so much? Just thinking about raising her by my side for 14 years, whom I cherished like the apple of my eye. Yet my daughter ended up in the laundry bureau, treated like a slave and abused for 3 years. It breaks my heart. Unbearable. Xun Kang, it's truly heartless.
With that, he stormed off without a backward glance. A man in black appears silently without a sound.
Go investigate everywhere. Madam has been today.
Shan turns and departs with the man in black. Lady Yong returns to Jing'an courtyard. Once her illness subsides, she sits alone quietly in the room for a long while. Madam, Nurse Zhou hurries into Jing'an courtyard.
A decree has arrived from the palace. Her Majesty the Empress summons the eldest miss to the palace.
Lady Yun snaps back to attention, her expression subtly shifting.
It was someone from the Empress's palace.
Though this servant doesn't recognize the eunuch delivering the decree, he did indeed hold the token from Phoenix Pavilion.
Nurse Zhou, I don't want Ziyao entering the palace. What kind of excuse do you think would be most fitting?
One cannot defy the Empress outright. Refusing directly is out of the question.
Shall I ask the eldest Miss's opinion?
Lady Yun furrows her brow.
Mother, someone has already informed me, so naturally I should go. Mother, no need to worry. I'll take good care of myself.
Then you must be extra cautious. Don't contradict the Empress in the palace. Yield if you can to show deference, and if not, feign a faint.
Very well, madam. Rest assured. I've already notified the prince, and shortly he'll be waiting for the eldest miss at the palace gates. Even if the Empress truly means harm to her, the prince won't permit it.
That is reassuring.
Yun Zirao, after finishing lunch, accompanied by Chen Yu and Bao Qin boards the carriage, heading toward the palace. However, the carriage was only halfway there.
Hey, careful! Careful!
A loud bang rang out. As the two carriages collided, Yun Zirao gripped the pillar inside the carriage tightly.
Miss, are you all right? What are you doing?
Bao Qin and Bao Qi, sharp-eyed, rushed forward to intervene.
Who are you? In broad daylight.
Yun Zirao stayed composed and shot them a subtle glance.
Eldest miss, are you all right?
The crash of the two carriages was quite loud. Alerting the Imperial Guards patrolling the long street, the coachman turned the carriage around.
Today, we've startled the Prime Minister's daughter, and my master deeply regrets the disturbance. Tomorrow, we shall pay a formal visit to make amends in person. But today, urgent matters press, and we cannot delay.
Farewell, then. He swiftly drove off, and the Imperial Guards made no move to stop him.
This carriage bears the Prime Minister's mansion crest. May I ask which lady of the Prime Minister's mansion is inside?
Eldest miss, are you all right, eldest miss? The eldest miss is gone!
Bao Qing and Bao Qi spun around and dashed after the fleeing carriage.
Stay calm. Hurry, block that carriage ahead. The eldest miss is in their carriage.
The two of them ran like the wind.
Closing in fast.
The coachman, in a panic, cracked his whip and gave chase to the carriage ahead. Inside the opulent carriage, Yun Zirao cowered in the corner.
You, who are you? What do you want?
Miss Ning, you've been faring well these days, haven't you? Riding high on success, everything going your way. Even the crown prince lies gravely wounded because of you. Don't you feel the slightest twinge of guilt?
Men and women must not be intimate. Hurry and take me back. I'm about to marry the warlord prince. The warlord prince will know of your actions. He won't let you get away with it.
Don't even mention the warlord. Prince, if not for him, how could the Ning family have fallen so low? He seized my father's military command. He wouldn't even marry my sister. What right do you have to become the warlord princess? That position should belong to my sister. No one has the right to fight her for it.
A chill flashed in Yun Zirao's eyes. So it is the young master of the house of Marquis Wu Yang.
It was Prince Zhang who proposed to the Yun family, not me. It is not me, vying with Miss Ning.
In that case, will you yield the position of warlord princess?
Yes. That is not for me to decide. You should take it up with Prince Zhang. I really...
If I could find her, why would I have brought you here? Oh, idiots!
Yeah, where are you taking me? Her Majesty the Empress summoned me to the palace. I still need to enter the palace to see the Empress.
I haven't met you yet. Even if I skip the palace today, Her Majesty won't hold it against me, nor take it out on the Yun family.
I see. It seems this little drama today isn't just Ningfang's doing alone. The Empress is the one pulling the strings. Drive on with the carriage. After a long stretch of road, the carriage finally came to a slow halt. Ningfang stood up, dragging Yun Zirao as he stepped down from the carriage.
He said, "This isn't home. What are you going to do to me? I want to go home."
I want to go home. This is a remote, run-down courtyard in the suburbs. And as soon as we passed through the gate, I saw several men standing not far off.
You can't do this to me. King Chang won't let you get away with it. Nor will my father. He won't let you get away with it.
Here is your reward.
With that, he turned and headed for the exit. But the moment Ningfang turned, he locked eyes with a pair of icy stares. How did you get here so fast? Bao Qing shot her hand up like lightning, seizing his jaw. Ningfang tried to fight back, but Bao Qing swiftly slammed him to the ground. Bao Qing kicked open the rickety gate with force, and saw Yun Zirao hurl someone down with a single strike. A burly thug landing brutal kicks to his chest and gut. The man gasped his last breath, seething with resentment, while the other two, witnessing it, were utterly terrified.
This has nothing to do with us. Yes, that is right. It was all young Master Ning's scheme. He paid us, gave each of us 100 taels, and said all we had to do was ruin this young lady's honor.
She sprang up, her gaze cold as frost, surging forward like a bolt of lightning, her dagger flashing in a deadly arc. Blood spraying as Yun Zirao calmly turned her head.
"Miss the dagger. Hand it over."
Bao Qi handed it over without a second thought. Yun Zirao gripped the dagger and advanced step by step toward the door.
"You're too confident. You shouldn't have dismissed the guards just now. Though even if he'd stayed, he'd likely have met the same end. But at least he could have bought you a moment to fight back."
Yun Zirao, all that show of frailty was just a facade.
So what if it was? Care to guess what is coming for you next?
What do you think you're doing? I'm the legitimate son of the Wu Yanghou mansion, and the Empress's own nephew. If you dare lay a hand on me, the Empress will never let you live.
Yun Zirao's gaze turned icy cold as she drove the dagger deep into Ningfang's wrist. His right wrist severed clean through. From now on, he'll never wield a blade again, nor hold a brush to write. Yun Zirao's gaze softened for a moment before she plunged it savagely into his groin. Ningfang writhed on the ground in agony.
You men, when you seek to destroy a woman, do you only know to summon a pack of brutes to defile her? Hamish! A man who has faced the battlefield, yet stoops to such despicable tactics against a defenseless woman, a true disgrace to any soldier's honor, and a stain on the very duty you claim as a man. So I've cut out your root, ensuring you'll never call yourself a man again, nor wear the title of general. This is the retribution you deserve.
With those words, she wiped the dagger clean, until it shone, then handed it back to Bao Qi.
Toss it once we're back. It is fouled with that villain's blood.
Bao Qi nodded silently in assent. Lin Zirao glanced around cautiously.
Leave the coachman alive, so he can go back and spread the word.
Let's go. That seizure Miss Yun just had was downright terrifying. Miss Yun must be badly shaken, right? Luckily, Boqing and I got here just in time to keep the lady from falling victim to those thugs. But in the heat of the moment, we ended up killing those scoundrels. Once we're back, we'll have to explain everything clearly to the prince.
Those villains were so audacious to actually lay hands on our future consort. They simply got what they deserved. Even if we tell the prince when we get back, he'll just commend us for protecting her so loyally.
Yun Zirao said nothing, realizing Baoqing and Lin Zirao were shouldering the blame for all the killings and maimings on themselves. No, Miss Chen Yu's anxious, worried voice rang out from afar.
Miss, where are you? Miss!
Chen Yu?
From afar, Chen Yu spotted Yun Zirao being helped out.
Miss, are you alright? Which damned cur dares to do this to our miss? I'll go kill him myself!
Miss, I'm fine now. Let's head back first.
Alright, the two helped Yun Zirao into the carriage, and the coachman didn't dare ask a thing.
After traveling some distance, they returned to the War King's mansion.
Yun Zirao didn't object. After all, what they'd done today was rather serious. Indeed, only the War King could smooth things over for them swiftly. Upon arriving at the War King's mansion, Mo Kanglen was waiting in the front courtyard.
Tell me what happened.
He is the legitimate son of the Marquis of Wuyang Mansion, Ning Fang. He had hired a few burly men in advance, who lay in wait in a dilapidated courtyard on the outskirts, and after bringing Miss Yun there, he intended for them to violate her.
Prince Mo Kanglen's expression turned icy in an instant.
Dora didn't seem frightened at all.
All the villains were dealt with by Baoqing and Baoqing. Otherwise, things could have ended very badly today.
Baoqing and Baoqi lowered their gazes to the floor tiles, their minds flashing back to the moment he struck with his blade, severing Ning Fang's manhood.
My lord, the young master of the Ning family said that I am unworthy of you and have no right to marry you. He claimed that the position of Princess Zhang should belong to his sister.
So that is how it is. You needn't concern yourself with this matter. This prince will handle it. Yeah. Escort Miss Yun to rest. Boqi and Miao Yuan prepare some tea and snacks for Miss Yun to calm her nerves. Boqi, make a trip to the Prime Minister's residence. Inform Madame Yun of what happened today, and bring her to the Prince of Zhang's mansion for safekeeping. Miss Yun is most angry. After giving the orders, she was escorted into the palace by horse.
It was Ning Fang, and when he was brought back to the Marquis of Wuyang Mansion, the entire Ning household was thrown into chaos. Marquis Ning Qiming of Wuyang, upon seeing his son so gravely injured, nearly fainted on the spot. Madame Ning's vision went black, and she fainted from weeping. Ning Miaochen, upon hearing the news, hurried to Ning Fang's courtyard.
Big Brother Z, what happened? Who did this to him?
When we arrived in haste, the young master had already passed out from the pain. There were several corpses in the abandoned courtyard as well. Their identities unknown for now. Perhaps only the young master's coachman knows what truly transpired.
Summon the coachman at once. I need to know who dared strike such a vicious blow against Fanner. I'll have him hacked to 1,000 cuts and 10,000 scrapes.
In short order, the coachman was promptly summoned, kneeling on the ground, trembling in terror.
Speak up! What exactly happened?
My lord, oh dear. Today, Xiaoran was driving the carriage for the eldest young master, when the eldest young master's carriage crashed hard on the long street, smashing into the carriage of the Prime Minister's adopted daughter.
All because of that collision. And they left the eldest young master wounded like this.
My lord.
A man approached from nearby.
Regarding today's carriage crash on Long Street, this subordinate caught word of it as well, but had no idea the culprit was the eldest young master himself.
What in the world happened? Spit it out! Make it clear!
After hearing it struck the Prime Minister's carriage, that man made off with the Prime Minister's young lady. In their desperation, Miss Yun's 2 female guards had no time to see to the carriage and rushed off in pursuit. Another maidservant was frantic, on the brink of tears, goading the coachman to give chase at once.
So what you're saying is, Ning Fang abducted the Prime Minister's young lady. Has he gone mad? What would he want with the Prime Minister's daughter?
Ning Miaochen, standing at the bedside, overheard this and paled to remember the day the War King went to the Yun household to propose betrothal. He stormed back in a furious rage. He smashed everything in the room to pieces. Big Brother heard the commotion and came to console him. He even vowed to settle the matter for him.
So that is why Big Brother, he only went and abducted Yun Zero.
I have no idea, my lord. However, today a skilled guard accompanied the eldest young master on his outing.
Who is it? Jifeng, summon him here.
It is the Marquis of Wuyang. His hands clasped behind his back. He paces back and forth ceaselessly.
Where did the eldest young master go after abducting the Yun family heiress?
To the outskirts. An abandoned courtyard on the outskirts.
What did he take her to that forsaken courtyard for? Are you blind or dead? Why let him run wild?
This lowly one deserves death. Head kowtows in terror, begging for mercy.
This lowly one deserves death. I merely followed the eldest young master's orders. Master O, spare me! Master O, have mercy!
No wonder Ningfang was wounded there. That damned little beast. He is bent on destroying the marquisate.
Drag him away!
My lord, spare me.
My lord, spare me. The coachman is swiftly dragged off for punishment. As Ji Feng passes the guards hauling him away.
My lord, today you accompanied the eldest young master outside, and witness what transpired on the long street.
The eldest young master ordered the coachman to ram the carriage of the prime minister's daughter, then commanded me to drag the terrified young lady into a carriage. Before dismissing me.
Nonsense! Guards! Drag this lying wretch away! And beat him to death!
Every word is the truth, my lord. I beg you to discern the facts clearly.
You mean Ningfang deliberately crashed into the Yun family's carriage and deliberately abducted the Yun family's young lady? What was his intention in doing that?
Marquis Wu Yang raises his foot and kicks toward him.
Tell me, why did he do such a thing?
My lord! My lord!
A guard rushes in. Prince Zhao is here. He takes a deep breath. So, in that case, it was those two female guards who crippled him and crippled one of Ningfang's hands and his manhood. Mo Kanglen has already entered with his ominous crow-like guards.
On Lord Zhao's arrival, why aren't you kneeling?
The maids and the servants thud to their knees, all of them. Mo Kanglen strides into the courtyard.
Judging by Marquis Wu Yang's expression, he must already know what his son has done.
Marquis Wu Yang's face is pale and grim. Prince Zhao orders Miao Chan to come out from the room.
Big brother was just acting on a momentary impulse. He just wanted to give Miss Yun a little scare. He had no real intention of harming Miss Yun. But Miss Yun ended up injuring Big brother this badly. Big brother is the legitimate son of the Marquise's household.
The future heir to the Marquisate, how about scaring him a bit?
In that case, how about this king gives you a scare too? Send a man to take Ningfang to that rundown shack on the outskirts, and find some burly men to keep him company for half a day, shall we?
You can't do this to me!
My lord, your highness, the details of the incident, this minister will investigate thoroughly. If Fenger is indeed the one at fault first, I will certainly give Miss Yun a proper accounting. I beg your highness to show mercy.
The Marquis of Wu Yang was once the commander-in-chief of the three armies. You ought to know that a true man has duties he must uphold, and lines he must not cross like Ningfang's actions today. Not only does it betray a soldier's honor, nor is it something a man of valor would ever stoop to.
Your highness speaks the truth.
I wish to see Ningfang.
Fenger, right inside the room.
Prince Qing Mo Kanglen strides into the room, approaches Ningfang's bedside,
and rouses him at the sound.
He opens his eyes.
That wretch. Oh, he is a devil. A female demon. So ruthless. Utterly merciless.
Young Master Ning still dares to shift the blame. But regarding today's incident, I believe you didn't act on a whim. So tell me, who put you up to this?
If Zirao is truly a demon, she is a demon.
If you won't confess, then the Marquis's household will face the consequences. I won't spare a single soul who plotted to harm Zirao.
Speak, he turns to the Marquis of Wu Yang.
Zirao is my fiancée, and I wonder how the Marquis intends to answer for this outrage.
Yet now he is crippled like this, doomed to be a broken man for life. What more does your highness demand?
His injury is entirely his own doing. The two female bodyguards I arranged have undergone rigorous training, functioning as shadow guards solely to protect their master. So it is hardly blameworthy that they strike with ruthless precision. Yet my fiancée endured a grave fright, and her reputation has suffered irreparable harm, without any solace in return.
Mi Miaochan suddenly drops to her knees.
This incident arose because of me. So if your highness must punish someone, let it be me.
Renner, what does this have to do with you?
Because I harbor deep feelings for Prince Zhao. The matter of his highness proposing marriage to the prime minister's daughter stirred a storm of jealousy in my heart. Your highness, this girl has long admired you from afar. I have admired your highness with all my heart, hoping only to become your highness's wife one day. Yet no sooner had your highness returned from the borderlands than you journeyed to the prime minister's residence to propose marriage, leaving this humble servant utterly unprepared. Big brother, she did it for my sake. She acted out of love for me.
The Marquis of Wuyang staggers, his vision blurring into waves of darkness.
I hold no grudge against my little sister.
Ningfeng struggles to sit up from his sickbed.
It was I who acted rashly on my own, intending only to give him and Yun Zirao a mere fright. She appears to be a fragile lady.
In truth, though Yun Zirao seems delicate, the bodyguards at her side are anything but weak. Young Master Ning stooped so low as to target a delicate woman, yet he overlooked the fierce protectors by her side, leading to his current sorry state, which is entirely his own fault.
Yeah, no, Lord Wu. You've been deceived by Yun Ziao. I know what I did was wrong. Yun Ziao.
He is nothing like the fragile figure he pretends to be. He is ruthless. Every one of my wounds was inflicted by Yun Ziao himself. He is a cold-blooded killer, vicious and unrelenting in his savagery. He is utterly unworthy to be the royal consort. My lord.
Yongfeng, to whitewash your own crimes, you stoop so low as to spin a lie this outrageous.
Everything I said is true.
If Yun Ziao were truly that formidable, how could he have endured it for so long, tortured for 3 whole years? He would have slaughtered that pack of scheming slaves long ago. My lord, if you're unwilling to name the true mastermind, then the Hell Mansion will shoulder the full blame.
Mo Kangalan's patience finally snapped. He turned and strode toward the door.
Since this all stems from your actions, this king demands she be married off within the month. As for everyone else in the Hell Mansion, exile from the capital, and no descendant for 3 generations may enter officialdom.
Marquis Wu Yang's face drained of color.
Lord Wu, you can't do this. Ningfeng, no matter his crimes, he is already being duly punished. You have no right to drag the entire whole mansion down with him.
Are you saying it takes an imperial decree to make it stick?
He never dreamed Mo Kangalan would go to such lengths for Yun Ziao.
To keep the whole mansion intact, there must be another puppet master at work. Why not go interrogate your fine son, and see just who was whispering in his ear?
My lord, please, just a moment. I'll question him at once.
Stumbling into the house, it is all because of what happened today.
Was it your own idea? Or did someone put you up to it?
He never imagined Mo Kangalan could be so merciless, actually forcing the Marquis's mansion into utter desperation.
Father, did someone really instruct you to do this? Who was it? Tell me!
Who was it? Ningfeng clenched his teeth, his mind torn in 100 ways. She'd have Yun Ziao torn limb from limb. Only if I'm alive, only if I stay right here, does she stand a chance.
It was the Empress Dowager.
What? Yongfeng? What did you say?
The Empress Dowager fears Yun Ziao, doesn't want her marrying the War King. So today, she deliberately summoned her to the palace, ordered me to abduct her midway, to ruin her reputation.
You beast! You're such a fool!
Mo Kangalan overheard his words.
This king demands that within 1 month, the Marquis's daughter Ning Miaoken be married off without a hitch. And after that, if Ning Zhao or anyone else dares harm Yun Ziao again, this king guarantees none of you will survive.
Ning Miaochan's face drained of color. What wrong did he commit? He only admired her so deeply. How can that be a crime? After Mo Kangalan finished, he turned and strode away coldly.
You beast, you're destroying yourself and dragging the entire Marquis's household down with you. How could I have raised a worthless son like you? What evil must I have done in my past life? What sin did I commit in my previous life?
Marquis, Dr. Yan has arrived. Dr. Wang has arrived too. And Dr. Zhang as well.
The Marquis of Wuyang gazed at the doctors arriving one after another, each carrying a medicine box. This son is ruined. But fortunately, he still has other sons Fanger and Fanner. Lady Ning, having just awakened, hurried over in distress.
My Fanger!
Several doctors clustered around the bedside.
One by one, they took his pulse and tended to his wound.
What are you doing lingering here?
Why must my Fanger suffer such a cruel fate? Which heartless wretch could be so vicious? Marquis! You must not let him get away with this!
Isn't it all because of that fine son you raised? He couldn't even harm himself properly. Yet he nearly destroyed the entire marquisate. And you still have the nerve to weep?
Lady Ning stared at him in stunned silence.
What did you say, Marquis? 反而是你的儿子呀, son. How could you say such a thing?
The Marquis of Wuyang stormed off in a huff. As night had already fallen like a dark curtain, Mo Zanglan rode without pause into the palace with his men, and was granted audience with the emperor in the Hall of Diligent Governance.
So, what came of your inquiries?
It turns out the Empress is the one pulling the strings. Your Majesty, how do you think this humble subject should proceed?
The Empress? How could she do such a thing? Could Ningfang be making wild accusations?
Your Majesty, perhaps you should question her yourself.
You're taking Ningfang's word at face value.
First, Ningfang is the Empress's nephew, though only a distant one. Still, they're connected by family ties. He has no reason to frame the Empress. Second, before Yunziao was abducted today, he had entered the palace to fulfill the late Empress's decree. I simply can't fathom it. Yunziang is to wed in just 2 days. Why summon him to the palace at such a critical moment?
Emperor Chongwu fell silent for a moment.
If she is truly behind this, I will give you a full accounting.
Mo Kanglan received his assurance. He took his leave and departed.
Frontier generals cannot linger in the capital too long. With the border stability weighing on my mind these past few days, once you're wed, head back to the frontier as soon as possible.
Mo Kanglan paused mid-step, but he said nothing. Emperor Chongwu watched his retreating figure, his gaze darkening.
Someone prepare to head to Phoenix Grace Palace.
The Emperor decrees a visit to Phoenix Grace Palace.
The Empress has always been meticulous about her skincare, and after supper she indulges in it during her leisure moments. So when the eunuch's cry of the Emperor arrives, echoes from outside.
This consort pays respects to your Majesty, my Emperor. Long live, long live, long live, long live, forever.
Empress, today, Zhao Yun's daughter was summoned to the palace. Has anyone else arrived?
Not yet.
Then isn't she defying the imperial decree? Then wouldn't that mean he is defying the imperial decree?
I suppose it is because the wedding is so near, with so many family matters to attend to that. She couldn't make it. This concubine won't hold it against her.
Yes, the wedding is imminent. And there are unwritten customs between our realms, that a bride must not step outside for 3 days before her marriage. I wonder what urgent matter the Empress had. That required summoning a soon-to-be married bride into the palace for a chat.
Your Majesty, this concubine doesn't understand what your Majesty means. Did this concubine err in summoning the Yun family's daughter to the palace?
You're still playing the fool! Empress, half a day has passed. No one informed you of what happened outside the palace. Didn't the eunuch you sent to deliver the decree tell you that Yun Ziao met with trouble on the way?
Trouble? What happened to the Yun family's daughter? Your Majesty, this concubine truly has no idea. Please enlighten me.
Yun Ziao was abducted by Ningfang right in the street. In broad daylight, no less. The esteemed daughter of the Prime Minister's household, betrothed to the King of War, snatched away by him as if his life meant nothing. He is clearly tired of living. Or perhaps I am too merciful. He just had to stir up this headache for me.
The Empress's face drained of color, stunned as she knelt on the ground.
Your Majesty, you spared him. How could he do this? Was he just momentarily bewitched? There must be some hidden story behind it.
Dongfang was castrated.
What on earth is the Empress going to tell the Emperor?
The legitimate eldest son of the Marquis's house ruined for life, just like that. The son the Marquis of Wuyang pinned all his hopes on turned into a useless cripple, just like that. The irony is, this all happened right outside the palace walls, right under my very nose. Yet I can't issue a decree to have it thoroughly investigated.
Because the War King is hell-bent on shielding his fiancée's reputation. Because Mo Kanglan wants to seek justice on her own, undisturbed.
Dongfang was emasculated. Who could have done such a thing? Who could be so utterly heartless?
The War King already knows it was you. Empress, you and your son have truly opened my eyes to your depravity.
Your Majesty, this consort knows nothing of it. The War King is slandering me. This consort is innocent. Your Majesty, you're choosing to believe the War King over this loyal consort of yours.
The War King's temper is indeed foul. His spirit untamed and defiant.
He often shows no regard for me, the Son of Heaven. But the man has real talent, and what he has uncovered leaves me no choice but to believe it. I do believe him.
This consort simply despises that wretched little slut. I hate her, so what of it? It is just the adopted daughter from the Prime Minister's mansion, harming my son. Where did I wrong him? And yet he goes complaining to the War King, leaving the Crown Prince beaten day after day. What is wrong with me punishing him a little? When the sovereign demands a subject's death, the subject has no choice but to die. Besides, it is his honor that the Crown Prince favors her. He should be grateful for it, not harbor resentment toward the Crown Prince.
You and your son shirk your duties all day, only scheming to use your power to make trouble for others. Since you were the one at fault first in this matter, I won't punish you, but I can't give an account to the War King. I can't explain it to the Prime Minister's mansion.
Is your Majesty truly seeking to embody fairness and severity? Or simply afraid of offending the War King, driving him to raise troops in rebellion?
Empress, you are out of line! I see. You've lost your mind.
Guards! Your Majesty, the Empress is deranged.
Disgracing herself before the throne. Confiscate her imperial regalia and phoenix seal. Confine her to reflection for half a year. No visitors permitted during that time. All her provisions shall be as before end of discussion.
She stormed off in a huff, the Empress kneeling on the ground, her face pale with fury.
Mo Kanglan turned himself in, and you surely come to no good.
I'll die before I let that happen.
Lin Zirao was fetched back to the mansion by her mother before nightfall. Awaiting her was her father, his face dark with simmering rage and the undisguised glee in Yun Zijin's eyes.
Sister, I heard you were abducted by those bandits. How could something like this happen? Exactly which bandit was it? Who dared to abduct even a young lady in mourning garb? Sister, did he do anything to you? Did he harm you at all?
I'm fine, safe and sound. Not a hair out of place. The bandits have already paid dearly for it. Thank you for your concern, little sister.
She was perfectly fine. How could she get abducted like that?
And now she is back safe and sound. Who exactly were those men? How is he, sister? Do you have some grudge against him?
Yun Zijin, didn't I tell you to stay in Tianyu Tower and reflect on your actions? Who let you out?
Mother, I was just worried about sisters.
I let him out. Didn't you see the gash on Zijing's forehead? What kind of mother are you? If something disfigures Juner, how will she ever get married?
The Prime Minister pities her so much. So why not just let her stay unmarried? Keep her at home to wait on you, her father. Nurse you through your old age and lay you to rest. Wouldn't that be just perfect?
Madam Chen, what utter nonsense are you spouting? I see you've truly lost your mind these days.
I've lost my mind, have I? Ever since Rao endured such a horrific ordeal, you haven't shown her the slightest concern, but instead keep hurling blame, fuming over how Yun Ziao wasn't the one the bandits snatched, and how terribly disappointed you are.
Is that the rubbish you're babbling?
Isn't Zirao back safe and sound? And doesn't that just break your heart?
Hey, is this about whether I'm safe or not? One of his daughters to be married has been abducted, and the Niu family's reputation is utterly ruined. How will the outsiders spread their vicious rumors? Would even Prince Zheng look down on her now? Yun Zero, who was the one who abducted you?
Is father truly worried about my safety? Or more about the Prime Minister's mansion's reputation? Or does he just want to know, after all this, whether Prince Zheng will now reject me? Whether I'll be left with no choice but to become the Crown Prince's concubine? Is that what father really thinks?
Sister, how could you think of father that way? Father's just overly worried about you. That is why his tone came out so sharp.
If father were truly worried about me, concerned for my well-being, right now, he'd be sending people to track down the villain who abducted me. His fury directed at the scoundrel who kidnapped the Prime Minister's daughter, not at his own daughter. Father, as the Prime Minister, head of all officials, could easily investigate such a matter. I don't believe he'd stoop to venting his temper at home like this, daring only to lash out at his own daughter.
For this alone, you dare to defy and dishonor me like this, openly challenging your own father. Go to the ancestral hall at once and kneel in reflection. Without my permission, you are not to leave.
Zirao's been through quite a fright. She needs rest, and besides, an adopted daughter. She likely has no right to kneel in the Yun family ancestral hall.
With that, she turned and left with Zirao.
Outrageous. One by one, you're all rebelling against me.
Father, please calm down, father. Don't quarrel with mother anymore. I don't want to upset mother, but lately, For some reason, every little thing sets her off, like she holds a grudge against me. Father, Mother, have you discovered something?
Don't overthink it right now. I'll get to the bottom of this.
Outside the Prime Minister's quarters, a guard hurries in.
He's brought the latest news from the palace.
Zhang sees the guard whispering right in Father's ear. Father's face darkens bit by bit as he rises to his feet.
So she really does know.
You may go. What is wrong with Father? Word just came from the palace. The Empress has been confined. Jing'er, your father has been suspended for a month. His Majesty has ordered me to reflect at home. No leaving the grounds for now. I can't go to the Crown Prince's residence. Take a smaller carriage. Slip out the back gate. Go quietly to the Crown Prince's residence. Warn him to prepare in advance.
The Empress has been confined. Why?
Don't ask so many questions. Right now, we must get this news to the Crown Prince without delay.
Okay, I'll go right away.
Nurse Zhou quickly reports to Madame Yun.
Nurse Wang from the inner courtyard says, the second miss has already left. It was the carriage the Prime Minister ordered prepared for her. The servants wouldn't dare disobey.
She went on her own.
With just one nurse by her side.
The Prime Minister set it up. She is surely heading to the Crown Prince's residence.
It is odd that stepmother summoned me into the palace today. When Ningfang was abducted, I even stressed that she was the Empress's niece, saying if anything happened to her, the Empress wouldn't let me off the hook. So today's events must be tied to the Empress.
By now, news from the palace about the Empress has surely reached Father's ears. That is why, even at this late hour, she sent Yun Zijin to the Crown Prince's residence.
Even if the situation is dire, your father could have simply sent a guard to relay the message. But no, he insisted on sending Zijin. Hab Hof, I suspect the Crown Prince is gravely injured and confined to bed. He wants a Zijin to tend to the Crown Prince. And while he is at it, brief him on everything that has transpired in the Prime Minister's mansion lately.
He is chasing our family's interests, all to bind us to the Crown Prince's cause. Under the cover of night, Yun Zijun arrived at the Crown Prince's residence. Everyone there knew him well. They treated him with deep respect. Yun Zijun stepped through the door, when a sharp medicinal scent hit him, accompanied by the soft, trembling sobs of a woman.
Your Highness is hurt so badly. This maidservant can hardly bear to watch. The Emperor is the Crown Prince's own father. How could he be so heartless?
Yun Zijun's steps faltered, his eyes falling on Zhang Manner, barely covered. I saw a disheveled woman perched on the edge of the bed. In that very instant, Yun Zijun's fury boiled up to his crown, searing his heart. Who the hell is this wretched temptress? How dare she slink in while he is away, preying on the Crown Prince in his vulnerability?
Crown Prince.
Miss Yun, why have you come so late at night?
Miss.
How did your Highness sustain such severe injuries? Your Highness, please don't move. Your Highness is so gravely wounded. Blame me. I've been confined to my room by my mother these past few days, unable to come see you sooner. I'm truly so useless.
Your Highness, this servant will take her leave now.
I leave the medicine right here. You may retire and rest for now.
Yes.
Has my younger sister been tending to your Highness these past few days? You've worked so hard, I truly don't know how to thank you.
No, I dare not. These are all duties this servant must perform. Serving your Highness is simply this servant's bounden duty. I cannot presume to accept Miss Yun's thanks. This servant takes her leave.
How could the Emperor be so ruthless? Indeed, even laying hands on his own flesh and blood.
With the War King bearing down on him, Father Emperor had no choice. You've been worried, sick these past few days, haven't you?
Before that, Mother had me confined under house arrest. I couldn't even set foot outside. Tonight, I finally pleaded with Father to let me come visit, all while keeping it from Mother. Father arranged an unassuming carriage for me. Your Highness, you don't hold it against me, do you?
How could I? The reason I came tonight
is that there is something crucially important. I must tell your Highness, once your Highness has heard it. Stay composed tonight.
What has happened?
The Empress. Are you certain? The Emperor has decreed her confinement for half a year.
What did you say?
Today, the Empress summoned my sister to the palace, but unexpectedly, she was waylaid and kidnapped en route. And after the War King rescued her, my sister insisted that the Empress orchestrated Prince Zhao's entry into the palace to pressure the Emperor. So the Emperor confined the Empress to her quarters.
His name is Lin Wenyan, a shadow of gloom flickering in the depths of his eyes.
That wretched woman.
Whatever, Yuanzi says. That is the final word. And the War King just swallows her one-sided tail.
Your Highness, there is something you may not know. King Zhao's favoritism toward his elder daughter has gone beyond all reason. He turns a deaf ear to everyone else, listening only to her as if he is being bewitched. Lately, even mother has been completely swayed by her, with my sister's wedding drawing near. All because the War King's betrothal gifts are so lavish. Mother, to save face, has actually handed over father's vast private estates to serve as her dowry, and even bundled the War King's betrothal gifts for her to take along. Father flew into a rage, but it did nothing to sway mother's resolve.
Mo Zhenglin fell silent for a moment.
He closed his eyes softly. You say Yun Zirao was abducted in broad daylight today. Yeah. Who were the ones who abducted her?
I'm not entirely sure, but I noticed my sister seemed perfectly fine when she returned home, without a trace of the dishevelment you'd expect from a kidnapping. I can't tell if the whole thing is genuine, or just some scheme she staged herself.
Mo Jingling remained impassive and silent, his thoughts a mystery.
Your Highness, the Crown Prince.
Jer, it is getting late. You should head back soon.
Your Highness, the Crown Prince.
Yun Zirao bit her lip, then suddenly leaned in to embrace his shoulders.
That day, the Emperor decreed before all that I am unworthy to be Crown Prince. After the Imperial Consort responded, I've been so heartbroken. I couldn't touch my food, endlessly questioning where I went wrong. I fancy only the Crown Prince. They say I cannot wed the Crown Prince, so I'd rather remain unwed for life, marrying only for you.
What nonsense are you spouting? You're a kind-hearted woman. It was Father Emperor who misunderstood you. Once I'm feeling better, I'll definitely clear this up with Father Emperor for you.
I'll wait for you, Your Highness the Crown Prince, no matter how long it takes.
As Mo Jingling fell silent, a flicker of malice crossed the depths of his eyes. The 8th day of the 4th lunar month, the day the eldest daughter of the Prime Minister's house weds and departs, Yun Ziyao rose at dawn, urged by her maids to dress and adorn herself. Donning her phoenix crown and embroidered robes, Yun Zijin stood by her side, half jealous in her heart. Sister, you look so beautiful today.
One day, when it is my turn to wed, I'll shine just as brightly.
You're right, sister.
She'll outshine Yun Zirao 100-fold. Guests filled the Prime Minister's mansion like clouds, the front courtyard alive with revelry, while in the inner hall, Prime Minister Yun and Madam Yun sat in the seats of honor, one on each side. Yun Zirao was escorted from her boudoir amid the throng, and bowed her farewell to Prime Minister Yun and Madam Yun.
Once you're at the War King's mansion, live your days well. The War King will keep you safe. If anyone dares to wrong you, just tell the War King, don't swallow your grievances in silence. No need to be so endlessly virtuous and forgiving. The more you grow accustomed to enduring, the more wrongs you'll have to bear in secret.
On this joyous day, for Our Lady, why speak such words? A proper daughter should embody virtue and grace. What manner of lessons are these you're imparting? Are you so eager to tarnish the Prime Minister's name even further?
It was just a slip of the tongue. Sister, please, don't take it to heart. A young lady should still be virtuous and demure, gentle and considerate to win her husband's affection.
Madam, you're absolutely right.
Mo Kanglan, clad in a striking red robe, strides in.
The woman this king intends to marry is no fragile, enduring little waif, but one with courage and resolve, a sharp mind, and her own convictions, who knows how to safeguard herself, and excels at seeking gain while avoiding harm. Such a wife, she need not humble herself for anyone, not even before this king. This king will shield Zirao with all his might, and once she weds into the War King's manor, she shall bear only the title of War King's consort from then on. Should anyone dare show her disrespect, it is disrespect to this king himself.
Yun Zijun stiffens, seething with jealousy. To think Yun Zirao received such favor from Mo Kanglan.
I am the true-born daughter of the Yun family. Why does mother favor Yun Zirao so blatantly?
Mo Kanglan, arm in arm with Yun Zirao, bids farewell to her Yun parents, then turns and leads his bride away.
Your Highness, please wait.
Everyone turns to look.
Mother, I must know what gave the entire Prime Minister's estate as dowry to Yun Zirao. She is merely an adopted daughter. How can you justify this, when it is so unfair to Zijong?
His words hang in the air, freezing the room in tense silence.
Lin Zexian, 你可以 hold your tongue.
Father, I know I shouldn't have chosen today of all days to speak up, but I've been unwell these past few days, confined to my quarters for rest, and only today learned that mother has bestowed the family fortune upon Yun Zirao. It is not that I believe Yun Zirao unworthy of such gifts, but rather that both daughters deserve equal treatment. I beg father's understanding of my distress. Mother Zijin is your flesh and blood.
Why show such favoritism to Zirao?
It is also the day of Zirao's wedding. Whatever you have to say, wait until he is gone.
As they departed, Yun Zexuan cast a resentful glance at Yun Ziyao.
Mother, I beg you to give us an explanation, right in front of sisters Zijing and Ziyao. If your reasons are sound and just, your son dares not press the matter further.
Zexuan, you insist on questioning your mother in public. Very well then, I'll give you your explanation. Enough of this. Zirao is my true-born daughter.
Madam Yun turned to Prime Minister Yun.
Yun Kang, you know full well what I mean by that. Don't even try to contradict me, and don't dredge up excuses. If you refuse to accept it, I can march to the front hall and announce it to all the wedding guests right now.
Lady Chen, what nonsense are you spouting now? This is a day of great joy. If you dare utter such lies...
My mother would never! Zijing is the one!
She is my daughter. I know that much myself. You don't get to lecture me. See that he doesn't keep Prince Zhen waiting. We mustn't delay the hour.
Yeah. Take care, Mother. Rest easy.
I've got this all under control.
Mo Kangguan clasped his hand. Then, led Yun Ziyao away with him.
Zexuan, is that what you want? Shall I head to the front hall, right in front of all our honored guests today, and declare that Zijin is nothing but a pretender to the lady's title?